Hey, kids. You're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host, Joe. Fun episode lined up today. Jacob Aki will be here later on in the show, but they don't matter. We have actual important people on the show right now. Joining from Harmonix, we've got Zoe Schneider and Kyle Wynn. How are you two doing today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
I am thrilled to have you back. Harmonix was one of the earliest supporters of our show back in the old days when Nick Chester was still there. I think you guys still know Nick.
He is. I think he's back. We're back at home with Nick. I think it was. He worked and then worked at Harmonix, then went to Epic, and then we went to Epic. So we're all kind of home again with a lot of old friends and family, which is cool.
Right? Nobody really ever leaves Harmonix. You take an extended break and then you end up back there in some way or another.
And we come find you again.
Yeah, exactly.
We follow you.
Hunt you down, track you down, kidnap you. You do what you gotta do to keep the employees happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's true. We've got some great people. They're hard to let go.
So for the people who don't know who you two are, give us a quick introduction. Tell us who you are and what your job is with Harmonix.
So
Sure. Yeah, sure. So I'm Zoe Schneider. Interestingly enough, as I'm sure folks who are listening are very well aware, we were recently acquired by Epic Games. So I do work on Harmonix products. Mainly, I was the community manager for Fuser, still work on that product, help Kyle where needed. But obviously, things are changing a little bit. So right now, I'm actually also working on the Fortnite team at Epic, which has been amazing. But yeah, Kyle and I sort of ran community over on the Harmonix side and still do.
Yep. Yeah, my name is Kyle. I'm relatively newer to Harmonix. I joined in early 2021, initially doing QA, then did community as well alongside Zoe. So I was kind of more so mainly focused on Rock Band stuff. So I did a lot of the blog writing and managed all the social stuff there, and still do that for the most part, but now I've kind of also moved into the producer role, so I'm also maintaining the DLC and all that sorts of stuff. So I'm making sure we get new music in Rock Band every single week.
So you're the one I go to with requests now.
Well,
Kyle, you did it.
Rockband.com/requests, but yeah, I do always enjoy that conversation. So people said that I would get tired of people requesting things to me, but I still have not gotten tired of talking music with people, so I will gladly talk music, specifically really nerdy, weird music, until the cows come home. So
no, I don't listen to too much nerdy. I'm more mainstream current rock. My boring request, I bugged Josh Harrison about it for years, is the Clincher from Chevelle.
We've got some Chevelle recently, and I never really listened to them much, but I thoroughly enjoy the songs that we've had in there. So good request, definitely.
That's too funny because I was literally just about to say every time somebody makes a request, they expect us to be like, oh, we'll see what we can do. And always it's like, oh, my God, I want that, too. That would be amazing. Yeah, my favorite song by them is that, it's always a super exciting conversation. Both Kyle and I are music lovers and musicians. So most times if people are requesting it, we've requested it first.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been requesting that one for years. So fingers crossed one day it'll happen. One day the lottery will draw and that'll come out of the hat and get the job done.
Yep, it's exactly. It's just so what the process is, and this is of course laced in sarcasm for anyone who does not understand. You put your request in, and then it literally is like the lotto where you spin a bucket with a bunch of little golf balls, and then it comes out, and if yours is picked, it goes in the game immediately, and that's how the process is. There's no other market research. There's no how many people are going to be interested. It's fully lottery, based.
No rights to worry about. No. It's super straightforward.
They just give us the songs. It's super easy. Just download it.
I mean, there's plenty of Tool balls in there. It's just they're not coming out. What are you going to do?
Unlucky.
Trivium Champ in chat is saying more Trivium. Does that shock anyone?
I would be surprised if they're yeah, I think we've had enough Trivium, actually. Thank you.
Gino Vanelli, please. The joke for all the moms. I love that. So what are your requests? What songs have you always wanted to see in the game that you're still hoping maybe one day you can make it happen?
My issue is my music I thoroughly enjoy is fundamentally wrong for Rock Band. In that I love instrumental music. So I'm a huge like progressive metal, like Animals as Leaders and Polyphia and Sean and Pliny and all those like really virtuosic guitar players and weird polyrhythms, but they don't have any vocals. So like it would be kind of silly to bring them. Like we have like a handful of instrumentals, but like it's really like I think like 5 total in the entire like almost 3,000 songs in the entire catalog. So unfortunately, most of my picks are not majorly cut out, but I do get a handful of other fun ones. So people have been able to identify some other ones in the past like year or so. That I'm like, this is a Kyle song. So anything with like weird time signatures, kind of metal-esque, kind of complex in some ways. It's kind of my my cup of tea in particular, as well as maybe Zoe and I overlap on this. I'm really craving a lot of 70s funk. I've been into playing drums lately.
Took the words out of my mouth.
That era.
You already know what I was going to say, Kyle. Come on. That is absolutely, I mean, actually, it's funny because it is totally not my doing, but you would think it does align with when I started working at Harmonix with what songs ended up in there. Because actually, within the last few months, a bunch of artists that I really want to see are in there. Skater Boy is finally in Rock Band. Are you kidding me? That's like a dream. And then there's also Brittany Howard just got in with Stay High, which of course Brittany Howard is from the lead vocalist and guitar player from the Alabama Shakes, but she also has another group, Thunder Bitch, and I love their music.
Great name.
Yes,
that is a great name.
Thunder Bitch in Rock Band. If you like Brittany Howard, which like how could you not? Her vocals are unreal. If you like Alabama Shakes, all great. Stay High, great song from her solo project Jamie, but Thunder Bitch in Rock Band is next level. Like that is what I want to see.
How would the censorship work with that
That's what I was thinking. Like, I don't
their
envy.
songs aren't necessarily Thunder Bitch. It's just
I know bitch is one of those words that sometimes you could go with it, sometimes you can't go with it. Like, I don't understand the ESRB bullshit. I don't understand. Like, you could say bullshit in a T-rated game. Like, I've heard bullshit in Need for Speed.
It's like the same thing where you can do like one F-bomb per like PG-13 movie, but like you can do one, but God forbid you do 2. I have no understanding of the rating process, and luckily I have not had to like go through that yet of like submitting a new game to the ratings board, but I can only imagine there's a large booklet of rules.
There really is. I did go through that a little bit with Fuser, actually, which is a teen game even, and that definitely had a huge impact on what music we were and weren't getting, or really more so what edits of the music we were getting. Because, like, we've got plenty of songs in Fuser that have all kinds of profanity, but we obviously get, like, clean and censored versions. I mean, there's, like, Wu-Tang, there's, all kinds of stuff. I think, Unforgettable, French Montana's got some F-bombs in it that it's just, like, a little boop, and you're good to go. So really, anything's possible.
Speaking of Wu-Tang, Gravel Pit for Rock Band. What's going on there?
Oh, yes.
I've been in
children. Come on.
I've been in a big Wu-Tang thing lately. Just on walks, I'll like listen to that, and it just hypes you up and gets you pumped up, and
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you like sprinting home by the end of that walk if you're listening to Wu?
I'm just bowling over anyone who's in my way.
Yeah, right. Gravel Pit is in Fuser, and it's one of my favorite songs because it has obviously the swing like beat in it. That's I think actually a French sample from like the 1970s or something.
Oh, really?
But that's one of the most interesting ones because it changes up the whole rhythm of whatever it's doing. So Wu-Tang, Gravel Pit, Cream, but mine would have to be Protect Your Neck. If something's going to end up in Rock Band, that's for me.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Kyle?
On Wu-Tang?
Yeah.
Or like, Cream is definitely up there. Let's see. Oh, what's the other one? Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. I think that's a very
ain't
like
nothing to fuck with, right?
I think that one will definitely make it into the
game. Yeah, I don't.
Is there any chance we could ever see like M-rated DLC from Harmonix? The whole game isn't. The online experiences aren't rated by the ESRB thing. Can M-rated DLC happen?
I think it would change the rating, if my understanding is correctly. So, like, the online rating, like, is not registered for play. I think that's, like, specifically due to, like, online interactions. So if someone, like, swears in your online lobby or, like, does something like that, it's not covered by the ESRB. But, like, I think if we were to add songs with a bunch of swears, we would have to, like, reapply or some level of something with that to, like, change what our game's rating is based off of what the DLC is, which there is one person who's in our community very avidly protesting for that. And I'm like, believe me, it's not me making the call to censor all the songs. I'm like, I don't like these swear words in my Christian music. Like, I don't like whatever people want to listen to. It's not, there's more to it than that.
Just give us Rock Band 5, Kyle. You coward. Give us an M-rated
Yes.
Rock Band 5.
Rock Band
it's
was
time.
just graphic, violence and nudity and
Yes. That'd be like full dong in Rock Band. No guitar strap on it either.
Great. It's just Red Hot Chili Peppers in that one concert they did.
Yeah, it's just a sock.
Socks.
That would be, I would say beautiful, but it wouldn't really. That would be frightening. That would be frightening. Some requests that I saw making my way through chat. Someone was mentioning they would love to see more Linkin Park. I, for one, would love to see a full album of The Hunting Party, but I know that stuff doesn't happen anymore. Is Linkin Park still doable with the passing of Chester? Are they still allowing stuff like that?
I think so. And that's the weird thing is, like, how estates handle different things. Like, I don't know, like, with Prince's discography versus Michael Jackson's versus whoever, like, but I think Mike Shadona did like an album where he let a bunch of just different producers like remix a lot of their songs. And I'm pretty sure there was a 100 Gex version of one of the Linkin Park songs, which I love 100 Gex and everything they do, specifically for the fact that they anger a lot of people because they are like the quintessential "it's not music" like angry boomer thing. So I think that like Mike Shadona's like super chill with that. So I don't think it would be out of the question. So like Linkin Park was my first like big, I originally listened to a bunch of hip hop. So like that was kind of my transition into rock music, that and Rage Against the Machine. So nice. Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory is like one of the quintessential like Kyle childhood albums.
I know a lot of people, they're like, yeah, Hybrid Theory was good, Meteora was good, and then I just kind of fell off them. And I have to tell everybody, like, if you ever at one point liked Linkin Park, listen to The Hunting Party. It is absolutely their heaviest album. It is their most raw album, and I think A Line in the Sand might be the greatest song they've done.
I don't think I've ever heard that album. I need to give that a listen then. That's a very strong
Rebellion
recommendation.
Is from it.
Okay.
Yes,
it's
one.
Me on People. That's when I fell off too. So you've made me a believer. I'm going to listen to it later.
Yeah.
Rebellion, the one Linkin Park song that no one has gold stars on. When you're scrolling down the list, it's like gold stars and FCs on everything, and then Rebellion's like a 4-star.
I'm definitely looking for heavier Linkin Park. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. If you don't have Rebellion, first off, grab that song. How big is your Rock Band library?
I think
I have it all.
Yeah, I do. I have the special Rock Band account, but I think total we're at like almost at 3,000. I feel like we're very close to 3,000. I'm like going to be super excited because I will be the person that gets to like push the button for the 3,000th time, which is super cool. I think
you cheat with having the company account, but how many do you have?
So I lost all of my account stuff. I had Rock Band 2 on Xbox 360, and then I sold my Xbox, lost my account information, lost whatever songs I had as DLC. So I restarted once I joined back at Harmonix. So I had started back at the cheating position, unfortunately.
Which, like, let me tell you, you can't go back. There is simply no option to return to any former lifestyle where you don't have access to all the DLC. Yep. Like, I have to work here till I die because, like, my friends come over and we play and they're like, what the hell? Like, we will do this for days at a time when they stay for the week or the weekend. And, like, I can't give up this lifestyle. I'm spoiled now. So this is my account forever.
Yep. Once you've had a taste of the rich life, there's just no going back.
It's true.
See, I guess I'm part of the poor life. I do not have every song. I am missing 3.
missing 3. Are these like songs that are no longer available that were one time whatever's?
World Turning by Fleetwood Mac.
Yep.
And the 2 Naked Brothers Band songs.
Oh, the
Naked Brothers Band.
Tough.
Yeah, and those were only $1 each, and I didn't grab them.
Wow. That's a tough. Naked Brothers, though, that is to me one of the most iconic in rock bands.
Can you guys cheat and like make codes for those 3 songs and just like tuck them my way? Just like not tell anyone.
There's no record of this deal being done whatsoever. As long as no one is listening in on this conversation.
Have you seen our numbers on our YouTube page? No one's listening to this. I guarantee it. I want to jump back to the censorship really quick. Are there any songs that the censoring in the game just really pisses you off?
Not that I know of. I feel like there's some good like metal songs, like metalcore songs, like 2010s era metalcore songs with like really vulgar like pre-breakdown lines, but I can't name any offhand.
Probably something from Asking Alexandria.
Yeah, something like that. Or like, I don't know if we have Attila in the game, but they're one of my favorite, like, they're just a fun band because they're just all about like partying and like basically like the hip hop lifestyle of metal. And it's just so, they're like they are that like, it would be very difficult to censor around them, but like, that's in particular super fun. I do love the ones where it's like, it's very clearly about something. Like it's just laced with innuendo, like what's the Bloodhound Gang? Like
the Bad Touch.
That's like one of my favorite. Like I love the ones where it's like it like snakes around censorship. Like we all know what it's about, and it's like very, very on the nose, very blatant, but it still like avoids censorship. I think that's one of my favorite ways to do that.
Valentine's Day last year. What was that for?
I don't know.
That was Valentine's Day.
That was. Even.
I hope it was
Troy being funny.
I'm pretty sure that actually might have been Troy and Katie at that point doing that. I can't even remember at this point, but that was a good recent get.
Yeah.
I know you had a theme with March being all women's songs. Are you planning on doing more theme stuff like that in the future?
I really hope so. So I loved that because first off, I love like not gimmicks, but I love like themes or like lenses to look at things through. So I liked that especially because then we could kind of like what do we want to see more of? Like, okay, we always want to see more women in rock music, and we were able to do that, and I love that. And we also like we got so much that we're still like releasing some. Like we like bled into April as well, just because we had so many good songs come out of that, and maybe possibly some more in the future as well. Like we have so many good songs that we got. I'm so like excited to see that. So like I would love to see more of that in the future, be it like something for Pride Month or something for anything else beyond that. Just focusing on like specifically like underrepresented groups. I think that's a fun thing, and like. A lot of people will find music that like they can identify with and have that emotional connection to. So like the more people we can give that feeling to, the better.
Carnage is demanding more ska.
More ska.
I was literally just about to say, I feel like as individuals take like ownership over certain months, you're going to see more of that. Cause I could see Troy being like, it's ska month. Let's fucking go. Like all ska all the time. And there you go. Themed month.
Ska and like Midwest like emo and pop punk, like the song that we're doing this week, Pup. As soon as that like came up on a list, Troy's like, yes, that one, get that one, put it in now, right now, get that one. So that's particularly fun.
What state would a ska festival have to take place in? My guess is Nebraska.
That's good. I always got like the vibe that ska just. Specifically, like, what's it, third wave ska? Like, that 90s ska was, like, a Southern California thing, just because I think of, like, a lot of those bands playing on, like, the beach somewhere. Very much screams Southern California. I wonder if they will do a ska version of When We Were Young. But I don't know how many of those bands still have lead singers who have not, like, gotten switched out or left the band because of situations or whatever. That's been a fun theme lately, but yeah, it screams Southern California to me. But Nebraska is fun.
Yeah, I made Carnage
you can't pass
mad
up that
with
opportunity.
I made the ska fan mad, and he's big on puns too. So the fact that I got him with ska and a pun probably drives him up a wall. Root Beer is saying more rockabilly and psychobilly. I'm curious to know if we might see more from Graveyard Barbecue from Rock Band Network.
Rockabilly, out of all the genres I'm familiar, it's probably down there with like pop country. Of like I don't think if I've ever gone and listened to a rockabilly song. Or what's the psychobilly? Is that the different version? Is that a subcategory, subgenre that I'm unaware of?
Like psychobilly freak out.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
like crazy psycho southern rock.
Okay.
Yeah, I could get into more southern rock anytime. I feel like there's so many old artists that we could pull up for that are just interesting, but there's also a lot of really interesting people doing that now. Like, hey, there you go, Kyle. There's a new theme for you. We're getting all this ammo on here.
Just the theme in which Kyle learns about rockabilly songs, and it's just me doing this like, oh, okay, this song. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, I get that. That makes sense.
I mean, shoot, I don't even know. Do we have Chuck Berry in Rock Band? Like, I feel like there's so many artists that fall right under that I don't even know.
There's a lot of 50s and 60s that we don't have. So like that's the one thing I'm pretty knowledgeable about is like our decade coverage, and like we only have a couple of 60s artists and almost no 50s artists. I think we have like just Johnny Cash and Roy Orbison, I think, from the 50s at the moment. So there is definitely an opportunity there. But then again, like the 50s was also the older songs the harder it is to tell who owns the rights to those as well, and like the chances that they sold them to some company. Like there's the old there's like a stand-up bit where like, you want to give me like a nickel for all of my songs? Of course, here you go. It's a John Mulaney bit, and it's just like that's that era of like, sure, I'll give all my money, all my songs for $6, like. And now it's owned by someone else, and then that company folded and got bought out by someone else. And then I think at one point in time, Michael Jackson owned the Beatles catalog and sold it back to Paul McCartney. And so it's just like the older it gets, the more you have no idea who owns what. And especially finding like stems for songs becomes absolutely impossible, because even like, was it the early 2000s was the big fire, like even stuff from that, you're like, why would we not have stems? Like, oh, it was just caught on fire, and like
literally
fire's a bitch.
Apparently incredibly flammable.
Yeah,
it's more Bloodhound Gang. We don't need no water, let the motherfucker
burn.
Let's get that in Disco Inferno, and just have a RIP the entire tape music library tribute event.
Hey, I think the best stupid song that I'm still hoping makes it into Rock Band from Rock Band Network is Parry Grips Nom Nom Nom. Like I would go insane if that finally released.
There are so many wacky RBN songs that I love for a ridiculousness. I think there's like the what's the Bang on a Can one where it's like the weirdest tempo and like it starts and stops and it's just so like rhythmically atypical in every single way. And I do love it for that aspect. Obviously, like with that becomes not as many people are going to be like mega into that. So like that comes the other unfortunate thing is like we have to like find songs we think people will listen to. So those like really, really niche, there's like 10 people who love this song with a diehard passion. Like,
I don't know. I think Nom 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 was in the top 100, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
Original charts. This isn't one of the crappy novelty songs.
Okay.
This is like top of the line novelty where everyone who actually hears it is like, oh my God, why is this so fun? It's like headphones on.
Right.
How everybody loves headphones on for some reason.
That is. I do love how there are like weird cult classic types of songs that people will just really feel emotionally attached to. Like we'll think we have like we'll do 2 songs back to back and we'll be like, okay, this one is gonna carry our sales absolutely. Like this one's gonna do like, oh man, everyone's gonna love this one, completely flops. And this other one's like, okay, well this other one is just like, I don't know, this could do well. Like I think there's some people who might like this and just smashes. We're like, Okay.
All right, sure.
It's as much of an art, as much of a random throwing something at a wall as it is a science. So, it's a fun thing, yeah.
What DLC has turned out to be really surprising? Like you weren't sure if it was going to do well or not, and it just blew expectations away.
I think there's some level of I can't say what sells the best, but I think like in terms of like reception that I have seen, I think people are really into Ailstorm.
Oh God,
like people are very passionately about pirate metal, and like I enjoy them thoroughly as well, just because I love the kind of the dedication to the bit. But I think a lot of those types of as well as like a lot of newer like pop punk, like there's this interesting revival of pop punk that like partially is like Machine Gun Kelly is the first name people think of, but there's like 900 other artists
and all of them worked with Travis Barker.
Yes,
right.
Does
that man never take a day off?
He's like the new Dave Grohl. He gets everywhere.
My God,
he really like, and that's like he doesn't need to like he could just live off of Blink-182 royalties for the rest of his life. But I think he just vibes. He just loves to do it, and like I do appreciate how he's kind of being the shepherd for these new artists. Like, oh, what was it recently? We did a song called Estelle, and I can't remember who the artist was. Kenny Hoopla. And and that like new era of kind of punk music. And then the band we're releasing today that's not Pup, or releasing tomorrow. It's a song called Tonight. Oh God, I can't remember it. There's just tons of new kind of pop punk, and I love that like people are seeming to vibe with that, and like it's seeming like we're getting this weird cyclical, like, whereas we had like the very angsty pop punk in like the early 2000s, you know, Blink and Green Day and like Sum 41, all that's, you know, now there's like this new generation of like, well, I guess if you're like younger Gen Z, you're also probably not super stoked with the way the world is. So you want to be some level of rebellious. And so it's always fun to kind of see that come full circle and like a new generation of people kind of rediscover this music that is very angsty and very angry.
It's true. And those songs slap hard as hell. They never go out of style. I couldn't believe it. Recently I was talking to my cousin and he was like, oh yeah, have you heard this song? And he played me MCR. And I was like, do you know this song? What do you mean, do I know this song? Like, yes, of course. Like, they're really hip to it. It is really cool to see.
It's crazy to see how music has evolved. Like, when we were kids, our parents listened to, quote, classic rock. And now that's what I listen to now. What I listened to as a kid is now considered classic rock. Like Nirvana is classic rock now.
Oh my gosh.
And that just makes me feel so weird.
Yeah.
They're getting to be this weird like time of especially when we're adding music in, like what do we consider classic rock? Like is the 80s classic? Like I think definitively, when I was growing up, like early 2000s, classic rock radio station was like 70s and 80s, and that was like 15, almost 20 years ago. I'm like, okay, then that was 20 years before that. So now 20 years before now is like the Strokes and like
Incubus,
like Incubus, and like even bands
Pearl
that like
Jam is classic rock for real.
Yeah.
And it's I think fascinating. Like even the early 2000s bands like White Stripes, are they classic rock now? Does that like make people feel 1,000 years old? Does that like?
Well, the crazy part is too, all of them from James Taylor to the Stones to Dave Grohl are still making music.
Right.
So they're making classic rock, been on classic rock albums, and have chart-topping albums in the year of our Lord 2022. Like, what is music nowadays? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like Paul McCartney's still doing music, I think. They did an album like last year or something. Like, what? Okay.
That's crazy to browse through iTunes and just see what artists are still going.
Yep. Elton John just did, like, we got an Elton John song recently.
Oh my God, with Dua Lipa.
Yeah. And like he's still touring.
One of the highest grossing tours of the entire year. I mean, one of the only tours like still ongoing with all the mess going on with live music. But like, oh my God, I looked at Elton John tickets and I was like, love you, EJ, but I can't spend $900 on this mess. Like, that's good for you. I'm sure people will pay it. If I could, I would, but damn.
A couple more requests from the chat that I'm seeing. Trivium Champ is willing to pay $1,000 for anything by Gojira.
Gojira. Oh, I love Gojira. That's a good one for me as well.
So there you go, $9.99 DLC.
Was really good. Yeah, $1,000. 3 people are gonna pay for it. We got very exclusive.
I would buy that shit too. Like I bought Nickelback. I have to buy everything now.
I was gonna make a joke, and then it would get blown out of proportion about having things so expensive that they become exclusive, and the rabbit hole that goes down. And I'm just gonna, we're gonna backtrack off of that to save face.
Yeah, I think exclusivity could really hurt things. Like, there's people who are like, "Oh, why don't they give away songs in the Rivals Challenge?" Like, how would they do that?
Right. Then like we have people like groaning about competitive integrity, and like, we are not an esport. Like I am mega into esports, and we are not an esport definitively. We are very far from that. But like, that would start getting into that territory of, okay, well, now we have to, like, okay, did this person cheat? Did this person hire someone to join their rivals crew to get them more songs? But yeah, like, there is this weird idea with music exclusivity, and like, I think we saw it not work out great with Martin Shkreli buying the Wu-Tang album, and then not letting anyone hear it. And then, speaking of Wu-Tang, we were talking about earlier, but then you also have the issue of like, okay, well, artists aren't making money off of their songs much anymore, with like streaming not being as, beneficial as like selling a full-on record was. So I'm like, that is a world that I am fascinated from as like a spectator, especially.
It's just, it's crazy. I don't know where to go from there. So I'll just go back to more questions from the audience. There we go. Let's see here. Dark Mika on Fire saying that she really wants the M-rated version for Ailstorm's Fucked with an Anchor.
Oh, of course. Classic. Yep.
Yeah, everyone loves that. Everyone loves that one. Root Beer saying Panic at the Disco is now classic rock, which hurts my soul.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, what?
Yeah.
Why would you say such
Panic,
a thing?
Fall Out Boy, all it's like, I think it's the 25 years since forming, like, qualifies them for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like, we're getting to that point where that, like, I think Avenged Sevenfold is about to be able to qualify for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which, oof, yeah, we got, I think, 2 years for that. Like, that is a wild thought.
And that's probably going to happen. So enjoy that, everyone. That's what happens when you buy bad music. I don't know. I like Avenged. They're hit or miss with me. I like their singles I enjoy, but I won't buy their album. I don't care enough.
Fair. They were one of my like early childhood bands as well. Again, like getting into guitar, you like pay attention to like who's really good at guitar, and like Sinister Gates is ridiculous at guitar, and like they, with their last album, they got like Prague, and that's where I'm like, oh, we've got a 15-minute song. Okay, it's about space and AI. Like, all right. So if you're not mega keen on like if Hail to the King wasn't your cup of tea, The Stage is a very big departure from that like sound, and they went very, very different from that.
I might have to expand my horizons and give that one a shot. Yeah.
So yeah, if I'm gonna go listen to the Linkin Park album, you gotta go give The Stage a try and see if that resonates with you.
Writing down A7X, The Stage. I already have 100 gecs written down too.
Oh yeah.
Figure out what the hell that is. That's all about.
I watch a lot of like music YouTubers, and like Adam Neely, who's the like kind of a jazz guy, talked about like what he thinks is like the next big genre, and he's convinced that like hyperpop is slowly going to take over, because similar to the way that like everyone in the 50s was like despised rock and roll, if you're like an older generation, you're like, oh, this is not even music, it's the devil's music. I think hyperpop is that now, of like it's the most like people don't have neutral opinions on it, and like I think that's the most fascinating to listen
like, what
to
is
and like
hyperpop?
to follow. 100 gecs specifically is like very auto-tuned, kind of fast-paced. Like Rebecca Black did a hyperpop redo or like remix or cover of her Friday song like a year ago, and like it's very up-tempo, very kind of EDM, but mixed with like hip hop influences, but also definitively like pop. And it's
like super OD, just extra to its core.
Yes.
Like it is, Kyle, I think you're onto something with that, because it super takes advantage of like Ableton existing, like we can do stuff now that you couldn't do 10, 20, 50 years ago for sure. So I feel like it's like super exaggerated, super dancey, super almost gimmicky pop.
Yeah. It's not for the faint. Like
not for the faint of heart.
I would love to have them in a rock band just to, because like we have people who will grumble, and we did a challenge a couple months ago now, kind of poking fun at this. Like, I thought this game was rock band, not pop band. Why do we have all these pop artists in here? I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is pop band. And we did like our favorite like pop songs in the game, and did a challenge focused on that, and tried to find some fun pop songs as well as like other kind of fun rhyming schemes. But I think like just to see how ridiculous and like how angry people will get at us adding like a 100 gex or like any hyperpop into the game, I think that would, just for the part of me that wants to watch the world burn, especially like that's just, that part of me would be satisfied.
So important to note that the person who manages Rock Band and used to solely manage the community team, I think needs to have a little bit of that I like to watch the world burn energy. Yeah. Like, this is why Kyle thrives. He has just enough, cares a lot, but just enough of that energy.
Yep.
Carl from Night on Fire in chat says, give me hyperpop.
Yes.
So,
we have at least two people.
Boom. We have done the market research, their support. Yes.
Yep. We
can
now extrapolate. Yep.
I'm worried that you mentioned auto-tune. Like I picked up, what's Swako is his name?
Sweko, yeah.
Sweko. And I wanted to like a lot of it, but the auto-tune vocals, I'm just not a fan of it.
I think that's one of the interesting things about how like we've talked about this newer wave of pop punk and how it's a lot of former like rap. So I think Sweko's first album was like very much definitively like rap. And like MGK especially as well, like former rapper, like now is going to that pop punk scene. A lot of those people like kind of take that influence. So like the prevalence of autotune in rap, and I can understand why people don't like it, and like I think at points it can get too much for me. But like I love to see how genres can kind of influence each other. Like there was that point in time where like a rap artist brought on Travis Barker to do a song with them, and now we're seeing like that other influence, like seeing like Run DMC rapping on Walk This Way. Like they took influence from rock music, and then we're seeing rock take influence from rap music. And I think that's especially like, I do love to see that kind of trade-off, that like mutual beneficial stuff happening.
Royal Blood did a song with, I believe, Run the Jewels. That was a really good track.
I don't think I've heard that one, but I love both of those artists very much. So I need to get into that one as well.
Let me pull up the name of the song because I have it in my iTunes library. The Ground Below.
Ground Below. I've not heard that.
It is a banger and a half. I think it was in the show 21 last year, and that's where I first heard it. I'm like, wow, this is really good. Must find out more about this song.
Oh, they had like okay. They did like a remix called Royal Jewels. Okay, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of good music. What kind of music are you enjoying besides hyperpop?
Me or Zoe?
Both of you.
Zoe, you want to go? I feel like I've talked, obviously.
I listen to everything. I am a vocalist and bassist, so I like things with a super fat bass line. I'm a super big fan of like 70s music, 70s funk. I'm a big like Michael Jackson fan, off the wall. Any kind of good soul music is right up my alley. But I've been listening to, I don't know, what is it? Is it Busty and the Brass? I think that's their name. There's a song by them that's called Out of Love with Macy Gray, actually, that I've been obsessed with recently. And then there's this group Salt that's actually led by the vocalist Cleo Sol, that's out of the UK, and they are super good. There's one track called Why, which is so repetitive. I asked Alexa to play it in the shower this morning, and I was laughing at myself because it sounds ridiculous, but it's so groovy. I'm super into that, but I don't know. I'm also a jazz head and just kind of listen to the same things on repeat. Sergio Mendes and Brazil 77 or 66 are some of my favorites. And then Aretha, Shaka Khan, Rufus. I don't know. I feel like the newest music I listen to is from 2003, and then the occasional oh yeah, I need to catch up with what's going on in the world, and then I hop into more current stuff. But I'm pretty old school. I just got a new car that's an old car and has a tape deck, so I've really been
that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's been my wave recently.
That's cool. Yeah.
A working tape deck. That is.
Oh, can you believe it? I have all my tapes with me. I knew this day would come someday, so I've kept all of them, and I have them actually in my office with me now. And a bunch of them are actually like old random bootleg jazz tapes from live shows.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'm just like expanding my music library every day as I ride around town. It's been amazing.
Do you have any pencils on hand to wind the tape when it gets stuck in the player?
I actually do. I have a Sharpie pen that I use for it because it's the perfect size. Yeah.
Beautiful. Kyle, what about you? What other music is catching your ear?
So I think about a year ago, I discovered King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, and they are
what?
slowly become, oh my God. They're an Australian band, and they are one of the most, what's the word where you've just recorded the most songs ever? They are that, similar to Buckethead or Frank Zappa, in that they just have a massive discography. I think it was 2017 or 2019, they released 4 or 5 albums in 1 year, and they do 1 or 2 albums every single year, and they have 15 albums, and sometimes they'll just hard pivot. They'll do a song or an album that's all focused on microtonal music. So
holy shit,
a non-Western focus of no 12-tone scale, it's not all the piano keys. It's in between notes. Other ones it's okay, we'll do a kind of a poppy thing, and other ones will do okay, we'll do thrash metal this album, and they just change their sound from album to album, and I love that. And they also have weird prog ones that also, so I will just listen to them because based on your mood there's a different KGLW album for whatever mood you're in, which is awesome. And then
now, Kyle,
all that sorts of stuff. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I feel like there's a perfect time to plug the fact that you personally also record an album every single year.
That is
so
true.
If you're looking for something interesting to listen to, his music is an option.
Ooh, and where can we find that music?
I go, this is a very old name that I picked in high school, so I'm just kind of living with this now just because I'm too lazy to change everything. It's Bandcamp, which is also now an Epic property, which is very convenient. It's I am the voice of reason.bandcamp.com, so it's just the voice of reason on there. So I have, in a very similar way, I also was let's see if I could do hip hop songs for a little bit. Okay, now we'll do some prog metal, now we'll do post rock, and now we'll do kind of, I liked it. Yeah, I just had one album where it was more Midwest emo kind of style. So I will kind of do a similar thing, but kind of just by myself. So hopefully once things start opening back up and Harmonix people go back to the office and stuff, I will hopefully be able to start jamming with other Harmonix people. That's the cool thing I love about Harmonix is most people play music, and we have a massive basement. You're literally supposed
to get a studio redone, not studio, but a practice room for everybody. It was supposed to happen I think within a month of our office shutting down. We were actually going to have a jam space again, and now it was so tragic. I was so ready.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yep, that was.
This pandemic sucks.
Only ever known.
It does.
I've only ever known Harmonix in the pandemic. I've never I've been to the office 3 times, and I've seen Troy, Ethan, our IT guy, and one other designer in person, and that is it. I've met 3 or 4 people in person ever. And
wait, I'm just realizing we've never met in person.
Nope. Never.
What the hell? That is so weird.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been doing the show for how many years, and there's 3 co-hosts I've never met.
Wow.
Yeah. And the one did it for 4 years, and I never met her.
Yeah, well, over the pandemic, the one good thing that has come out of it for me is I've been expanding my home studio. So if it lasts much longer with this work from home, I'm just going to have everybody come up here and we got to do a jam session or record an album or something because I've got it all. I literally picked up an organ the other day because what else do you do when you're in a pandemic with excess time and energy? So we could record pretty much anything up here if you guys just make the trip.
There you go.
Nice.
Rock out. The work ethic sounds similar to one of my friends. His name is Glenn Case. He usually puts out an album a month.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. What's
Album
he play?
a month. It's kind of like indie rock mixed with like nerdcore elements here and there, depending on what he's doing. He can fluctuate genres like crazy. He actually won a contest with Cards Against Humanity for doing a song about chowder.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah. And then in January, he calls it Jamuary, where he does a song every day.
I did that in, was it September? No, October. No, yeah. It was for Inktober, and like it's where you draw like a drawing every day, except I like did a drawing and then did a song based off of that, whatever I ended up drawing, and that was exhausting, and it was like it was super fun, but I will never do it again because like I had to base my like day around, like I needed 2 hours. I'm like, I need at least 2 hours to just get something down, and I have a lot of empathy for people who do that and like will put out like a song a day or do a song an album a month. Like that's so much.
Yeah. I mean, the
was
people we work with, they blow my mind where it's like, hey, we want to do some test music for this thing. We need like 50 songs of different genres. Here's all the BPMs we need. And they're like, okay. And then like an hour later, they're like, oh yeah, I'm done. And they're the most original, most interesting compositions you've heard. And it's just like that scheduled creativity, being able to tap in like that is a miracle to me. I really admire people who can do that on a consistent basis.
Yeah, it's impressive. I have a bunch of friends, they'll do competitions online for like video game remixes, and they'll do 1 hour compos where you have 1 hour to make a song. And they do it. It's insane. I can't believe how talented some of my friends are. It blows my mind.
Right.
There's a producer named Kenny Beats who does like streaming on Twitch all the time. And he's worked with a bunch of people, and he like every week or sometimes twice a week, he does like a beat battle where he gives like the most ridiculous unhinged sample. Like surely you can't make anything interesting out of that. And like, and he just like has like thousands and thousands of people submit stuff every single time. And like, they only get like an hour or two. And like just seeing the amount of work that people will be able to do, and like I think it just comes from like the reps that they have done. So like they have done dozens and hundreds of songs where like, okay, here's a new thing, like cool, I know what I'm looking for, I know how to cut this up and add what sound I'm going for. Like it's just one of those fascinating things to like watch someone just be in the flow state of like, I have this perfect song in my mind and I know how to do it, I just need to do it real quick.
Yeah, but then you hear the pros talk about it. Like the songwriter Claude Kelly came to speak once, and I was listening to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I write like 3 songs every day." And we were like, "Oh damn, wow, I gotta up my game." And he's like, "Most of the time, all 3 are shit, but I write 3 songs every day." And it's like, yeah, okay,
fair.
That's the other thing too. Is like that was like my thing in college. Like I used to just kind of write music, and like it was like a very like it's an emotional thing because you spend a lot of this time in there. And like especially when you're starting out, like you really put your heart and soul into the song. But then like at a certain point as a musician, you learn like it's just like songs can suck. Like people just don't like them. Right. And like you just have to like learn how to let that go. And like that's one of the most fascinating things is like some bands will record like 20, 30 songs and like just cutting room floor like half of them. And you just never hear them ever again because they didn't think that was good enough. Like,
oh my God, Ari Lennox just posted a screenshot. She finished cutting her album and she posted like now to pick the tracks. And it's like literally like 65, 70 tracks or something on this whiteboard. And I'm like,
jeez.
Give me Anthology. Just release them all. Like, all right, let's see what you did here. Give me it in order. I want to see what this journey was. But like, yeah, it's crazy. People just create.
And that's why you get albums long past bands, retiring, where they'll put out, it's the greatest hits with 6 new songs.
Right.
That you've never heard from demos.
Give me Prince's Vault right now.
Right. That was one of the things I've been getting into. Like, I never really listened to Mac Miller before. And then, like, he did, like, his last 2 albums were kind of concept-y, and they're very related. And the second to last one came out, like, right before he died. And then he died, and, like, he still had enough. And like the producer he worked with had to like figure out like he'd worked with him, but he didn't know exactly what was in his mind. So he had to like make some guesses as to like what the track listing would be and like what production this needed or whatever. And so that was like kind of a fascinating listen to because it wasn't so much as like it was like a cutting room floor track that like he wouldn't have wanted. It was instead like the songs were like mostly done, but like it was just cut short. And so like it was such a fascinating like window into where he was at that point in time to like the people need to experience this and like feel this emotion.
Some people make songs like Joe makes podcasts, thousands in a week. Yeah, I've been doing this way too long. I got to ask some tough questions. It's been a lot of laughs. It's been a lot of jokes. What's the future on Fuser?
So Fuser is, I think as most people who are familiar with the title know, we actually stopped releasing new DLC for this year. We had a ton of DLC. Oh my God, I think it's over. I mean, it's like 250. Like a lot of songs came out. Actually, yeah, probably 150 songs of DLC, something around there, either way. So we had a super consistent track of DLC throughout last year. But we actually were pretty honest and transparent with the community about that, you know, the support isn't there to continue the DLC program as we've been doing it, but we do understand that like new music is important for people having a positive experience playing the game. So we still do release music. It's just in the Diamond Shop and it's not licensed tracks. It's either tracks from friends and family or tracks that we're creating. Like it's coming from a bunch of different sources, but it's not necessarily continuing to be like top grossing, top 10 Billboard music or top 10 music of all time type of thing. But, you know, it's kind of interesting because I obviously, when we announced that, there was, of course, a reaction from people and a lot of thoughts and feelings that like it's a double-edged sword as a community manager, right? Because you want your community to be happy, but also it's like you guys care about this so much, which is also like great. And I love that there is a community that feels like a personal stake in Fuser. But it's been pretty cool to see people still making amazing things with the title. You know, when you think about it, if people aren't familiar with Fuser, it's, you know, a music mixing game where you have stems of tracks that you can put together to make entirely new creations. And when you think about it, with over 200 songs in there, with custom instruments, with Diamond Shop songs, so like closer to 300, I'd guess at this point, like there's literally probably billions of combinations. And I personally thought, you know, I'm a musician myself, so I was always very excited. But you think about it, it's like 12 notes. How much can you really do? And it's like, no, you can do everything. I mean, it's like we've been talking so many different genres of music and styles come out of just a 12-note scale. And the Fuser community has kind of really impressed me with the fact that there's less DLC and new music coming to the game, but they're taking new approaches to how they're creating and sort of upping their game to keep things exciting and innovative and fresh. I mean, I know a few community-led events have happened just recently. Dream the Beat, which is an event where it's essentially, you know, you have a panel of judges and they put their mixes up against each other. And the mixes are literally the best they've ever been. Like people are just getting better and better and the skill is getting higher and higher, even without new DLC. But you know, even though there's no DLC, we're still doing events every week. We're still doing new Diamond Shop content. We still have the Diamond Stage, which is live and active. You can, of course, play the campaign. So it was definitely a difficult announcement to make. And it is like obviously sad because it's such an amazing title with such unique IP. Like the actual mechanism of Fuser is mind-blowing, right? Like the fact that you're dropping these tracks in and they're instantaneously modulating to the right key and to the right BPM and it sounds good, like that is nothing short of some, you know, coding magic. So
it's fucking black magic. I don't get it.
It is crazy.
I don't understand how that game works, but I can watch streams of that for hours just listening to mixes.
Right. And people are so good at it now. I mean, there's some creators, I don't know, like if you're familiar, but, you know, DJ Soundstorm, UEG Spartan, DJ Spartan, Coefficient, like all NL, the Ben NL, like these people come in and it literally sounds like they stepped up to a DAW and had a totally unique idea. It doesn't even, you couldn't even pick out what stems they're using because it's been manipulated through so many different things that it's like, okay, I don't know how you did this, but I'm glad you did. And so I'm interested to see how people continue to use it. And obviously, you know, Fuser is an extension of Amplitude, of Frequency, of Rock Band, of Dance Central, and of Drop Mix. So I think it's pretty fair to assume that even though we're not doing new DLC for Fuser, Harmonix usually finds a way to maintain new technology and try to find new and exciting ways to like offer it to people. So Fuser is still up and active. No new DLC coming this year, but kind of like Rock Band, it's like people are like, oh, when is Rock Band 5? And it's like, well, not now, but never say never. Like, we don't know. Like, we'll find out when we find out type of thing. So I don't know. It's obviously slowing down a little bit in terms of that new content, but otherwise the basis of it is still ongoing. And like I said, I'm pretty excited to see who knows? It's been a minute since Drop Mix, and who knows, in a few years, maybe the IP behind Fuser, the mechanisms that are so unique about it and like really specifically tailored to making good music, who knows how people will think to use it. Like, I didn't think Fuser would become what it was the first time I saw it, so I have no idea what that tech could be in even a few years.
You basically led into another question. Rock Band 5, it's been rumored, people have rumbled about it, lots of people want it. Is it something that could happen? Ever since the Epic pickup, people are wondering if that might help finance a new game. Is that a possibility?
It's definitely a possibility. Obviously, like one of the things that was very important to note was like when we got acquired, what did this mean for Rock Band? What did this mean for instruments? What did that like? As I can publicly say at the moment, like there is nothing that is going to change with like how Rock Band is being treated, what the situation was regarding instruments, what the likelihood of a new game is. Publicly facing, there is not anything that will be different in regards to Rock Band, which is I know some people are probably not mega stoked on, but I think the people who just want to be able to keep playing Rock Band like they have been are like excited that it's not going away anytime soon. So
that's me. I'm just happy y'all keep putting new songs out every fucking week. Yeah. I'll keep buying them as long as they keep coming out.
And that's kind of the interesting thing about the games. Like we obviously like not a ton of new people pick up the game each time because it is required, like reliant on the fact that you will have instruments. And so we're just trying to find new ways to keep the people that still like our game and still play this game as often as they do, which is like thorough. Like it still doesn't, it's not lost on me how many people are still so passionate about this game. Like with the IP almost 15 years old now.
Right.
And people are still, in love with this, just like the first day I ever played it. And so I think that's the thing that kind of keeps me going. It's just how many people are so enthusiastic about it and like are still just excited to play, new songs as we release them.
Well, so basically keep our fingers crossed, but don't hold our breaths for the most part. So I had to ask.
You have two PR people on. You gotta
right. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? You know what? We always joke around, though. One of these days, somebody's going to ask us, and we're just like, yep, okay. And then some poor community manager will have to deal with the dumpster fire that becomes social media. But, like, it's so tempting to just be like, sure. You know what?
I think I just heard you confirm Rock Band 7.
Yeah. Yep, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, we're skipping a couple. We're doing a Rock Band.
Right. We're going to give it the iPhone treatment, straight to Rock Band 10.
Can we see any significant gameplay updates come to Rock Band 4? Or is gameplay-wise, is it as done as it's going to get outside of DLC? Like, a lot of people want to see a controller mode.
Yeah, that is one of the big things that we were always looking into, and like, how many people want that, and it's obviously a significant number. What the feasibility is. So I think that there's other things of like the Rock Band engine is very, very old, and like a lot of things that we have done since then is very has been on something else. So like a significant amount of people like wouldn't even be able to necessarily know where stuff is. So we do luckily have some like really, talented and incredibly smart people. Also people who have worked on the, like, as far back as I think the first couple of games, which is awesome.
Oh yeah.
But like the farther time goes, the harder it is to kind of crack it, back open and start messing with stuff again. And we have to like change a bunch of stuff every time. And, it's definitely like the door's not closed on that at all. Like we did a patch recently that I was like part of the QA for. So like I'm very well tuned into exactly how complicated the process is and what all it requires. So it's like, it's definitely not, the door's not closed on that, but obviously like no new announcements yet at this point in time, but
that Y word. I love the Y word.
Host. Yeah. You would not be a podcast host if you did not ask the question of that. Yep. So I'm very prepared for that.
I tried to have fun and joke around for a while before then, but I had to ask it.
A false sense of security.
Yeah.
Right.
Strike.
Boom. Tell us about Rock Band 9. Beatles Rock Band 4.
Hey, I would personally fund that. Tell me about that any day, Kyle. I got you.
Yeah, right.
That's another potential question is with the way the Beatles rights have been handled over the years, is there any possibility of an export?
I don't know, and I don't know if it has changed recently for the better or for the worse. I don't know regarding that. I personally didn't get into the Beatles until like last year, so like I was like, oh man, I really wish I was able to play those on that. And so like I would be one of the first people to like ask those questions in meetings of like, can we get the Beatles? Can we do that? So
Right.
Know that there is no lack of want for stuff like that. Like that's the other big thing too, is like when people ask like, oh well, why is this artist not in the game? Like it's almost never for a lack of want on our part. Like I love so many different artists and so much different types of music, and like other people on the team are like very, very passionate about completely different music. So there's like very few bands that are not well loved in the Harmonix meetings. So with like Beatles exports, stuff like that, especially, like, it's not ever for a lack of want on our part.
No. Licensing is hard.
Oh, sorry.
It is.
Exactly. And like Kyle said earlier in the conversation, Prince didn't license any of his music while he was alive, and his estate has now put his license on various has put his music on various DSPs and licensed it for other things that we didn't see before. So, not to be too much of a lawyer here, but it's like, maybe, depends.
Shoot them an email. Fuck it. Why not, right?
Exactly. It's like, you never know, because as things evolve, as ownership changes hands, I mean, you see people like Tina Turner selling her catalog and these other huge deals ongoing, and with new owners, different expectations are to be had, and different relationships start to exist or cease to exist. So it's such there's so many variables within it that it's kind of like, maybe is always the answer.
Yeah, that's definitely been the interesting things of like re-asking those questions. Like I know we tried like 8 years ago, but like I'm pretty sure someone completely different owns that now. Like, could we get that now? Like, oh, we can. Okay, cool. And so like there's been a couple of instances like, does this mean that we can now have this requested 9 trillion times artists? Like that would be cool. So it is, and it's like, it's unfortunate because there are some that like we really wish we could get, but like their music has gone to someone who's not as keen on licensing, and then other ones that like we had wanted for a long time, and now they're like finally available, and we can finally look into that, or certain things that change, whether it be our association with Epic now, and like whether people are like, oh well, okay, maybe I wouldn't answer your phone call then, but maybe now I'll answer it. So it's always interesting to see how the change in scenery changes the scenarios as well.
Who knows? Maybe post-COVID, people are missing out on those touring dollars and are going to be a little more lenient to try new things. Yeah. We'll see.
I would love to see that happen. I would love to see a resurgence of this game. I've been playing it since Guitar Hero 2.
Oh, yeah.
On the PS2.
Oh, yes.
I remember buying that at Best Buy.
Right now. Yep.
And I've been in love with the genre and the gameplay since damn near the beginning. And I love having you guys on the show, chatting about it with me, coming on and making time. I know I've been bending your ear for a while, so I figure we could wrap things up. I do really appreciate having you on. Is there anything you wanted to talk about before we wrap up that I didn't bring up?
I appreciate, like, I will always say, like, I love how, like, hearing people's stories about like how they got into music and how music games especially like influenced them. Like I very vividly remember playing Rock Band 1 at a friend's house, like, oh, this is super cool. Yeah. I want to learn how to play guitar now. And like I did, and now like that's what I do. And then I got the opportunity to come work on the game that like inspired me to play guitar. And so that was like especially awesome to see. And like I will always love to read people's comments about like, we formed as a band playing Rock Band in our living room, and now we are releasing music together. Like there's a couple of artists, I think even in Rock Band now, that like learned how to play because of the game. And I think that's... Isn't
The Warning kind of a high-profile example of some sisters who just played Rock Band and now they are a rock band?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And yes, I will never get sick of reading comments like that. So I appreciate people sharing their stories on that, because I have a very similar one.
No, I think most of us at this point do. I'm literally sitting next to a drum set that I bought because I played so much Rock Band that I was like, why don't I just try for real? Like let me actually practice maybe, I don't know. And it's the same drum set that I play today. So it's like, it is amazing because I think it does speak to like video games are so much more than just that, right? They're an opportunity to meet friends and family and really sort of foster this lifelong love for something. And it just feels good to talk with somebody that shares that passion and can speak so eloquently about it. And yeah, thanks for having us. It was super fun to talk. And of course, thank you to Carnage for connecting us. This was awesome.
Indeed. It has been way too long since I've had Harmonix folks on the show, and hopefully you'll come back soon and we'll talk about Rock Band 12 or something. Yep. I don't know.
Excellent. Sounds good.
Whatever comes up in the future. Where can people keep up to date with you and what you're doing?
I'm on Twitter as Not Shaka Khan, CHAKAKHAN, Not Shaka Khan. So go ahead, find me there, or follow us on. Actually, I still do a lot of Fuser Game stuff. So if you follow the Fuser Game Twitch, I'll be streaming there sporadically, and hopefully you'll be seeing some more stuff as I continue some work with Fortnite and Creative and all the good things going on over there.
Yeah, and I am at Kyle the Winner on Twitter, and I still do a lot of the Rock Bandy stuff. So at Rock Band is kind of the main place I do for that. I plugged my Bandcamp earlier. It's I Am the Voice of Reason.
We'll include a link in the description so people could check that out as well.
There we go. Nice. And yeah, I don't stream on Twitch. I don't have a MySpace, and you can't add me on MySpace. Sorry about that. No Facebook. Friendster.
Well, if you're up for it, we usually play music on the show in between guests and what else we're doing, and at the very end, we could always play some of your stuff.
Sure. Yeah, I think I have very lenient licensing on my music. You're not going to get copyright strikes on anything you do, I don't think.
That'll be the end of the show because of one episode.
Yeah.
But all right, thank you again so much for coming on and chatting with us. Everybody, we're going to take a quick break. We will be back with more show. Jacob Aki will be here, so I guess you could just turn the episode off now if you want. Do either of you have any final words to end the interview?
Just thank you for having us on. Much appreciated, and enjoy this a lot.
Yeah, so nice to talk. Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. Another huge thanks to Zoe and Kyle at Harmonix for coming on and spending an hour of their night with me, just chatting and bullshitting about Rock Band and Fuser, all that other fun stuff. Plenty more show to go, though. Tweedledee and Tweedledum are here. You pick which one you want to be.
I go with Tweedledum.
Zero argument between who is who.
It's probably the only time, so cherish it.
Yeah. How are you two doing? How was your week?
I don't give a shit how hockey's doing.
To be fair, she probably doesn't give a shit how you're doing.
Oh, I know she doesn't give a shit about how I'm doing.
Aki, do you give a shit about how he's doing?
Not particularly.
Not particularly.
Well, you're even, so I guess we'll just talk about my week.
Yeah, but see, mine sounded like
no one cares.
Like it had malice. Like hers is just as apathy.
Yeah, I'm very indifferent. I don't actively not care. I just don't care.
She appreciates I make carbon dioxide, which plants require to, for photosynthesis. But otherwise, all my other functions, she doesn't care.
She appreciates that you're here on the show so that she doesn't have to talk as much.
I mean, I have to talk just as fucking much, but
no, if he wasn't here, think how much more you would have to talk.
It's true. You'd have to feign more interest.
You would have to discuss news more.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you would.
I wouldn't know any more than I currently know. I wouldn't do anything differently.
I mean, you would you would have to feign interest more frequently.
That's what you think. If anything, I would talk less because I would bitch at him less.
Oh, that is a fair point.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. I disagree. If anything, it would just be filled up with the sound of her eating food.
Hey, that only happens on occasion. I've only done that twice out of over 50 shows I've been on. Fuck you.
You've only done it twice in 50 shows? I'd call bullshit on that.
Well, usually I eat before I'm on.
Usually. But then there's also when you're playing games that you have to review 5 minutes from now.
No, that's Chris.
Aki's done it too.
Oh, I've played games during the stream, but not for review.
You played the gunk.
Yeah, but I wasn't reviewing that when I was playing. Well, I did review it, but I wasn't reviewing it during that stream when I was playing it. I reviewed it the following week because I did not get it for review. I just wanted to review it too because I thought it was really good. But no, I have.
It was. I like that game.
Yeah, no, it's solid. I just wish that they put a chapter select in there. That's like legit the only thing I wish it'd do.
Well, tough shit. What are you going to do about it?
Can't you visit the whole area?
No, you can't. Like the area where you where it's nighttime and you're wandering through the desert and like you're avoiding like the beasts and stuff like that.
Well, if you're smart, you avoid them. I did not avoid them.
But yeah, but you get an achievement if you don't avoid them.
You do? Oh,
there's something, or no, I think you have to make them attack each other, but yeah.
Yeah, but you can get that anywhere. It is easier to get there, though.
No, well.
You're likely to die doing that, but, hey, as is life. I died there a number of times because I kept fighting things, and that was not the smart choice.
I think I told you that at the beginning of the level, too.
Oh, yeah, it does. I just didn't care.
Okay.
It's just like, there's enemies, I want to kill them.
Fair. You can't argue with that. So what games have you been playing this week that weren't for review? Like, what have you been
Wheels Unleashed?
Well, no shit. That's all you play. What else?
Have I played anything?
That's actually it.
That's it. Holy shit. That's sad.
Well, because of the 2 games I played, they required a lot of time.
True.
Well, I 100%ed Tunic.
Ooh,
that's cool.
How was that?
Ooh,
I love that game. It's so cute. You can change how your fox look. I made mine so cute. I loved it. And matter of fact, not only can you do that, but some of the collectibles in the game are like there's this fox piggy bank basically you get, as well as little dolls. I don't know what the fuck the dolls do, but they actually change based on what your character looks like too.
Oh, that's fun.
It's so adorable. And so does the mom character. Which I'm not going to ruin where you find her, but the mom changes color to match your colors as well. I
didn't know there was a mom character, so thanks for ruining that.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm not telling you where it is.
You already spoiled that there is one.
Well, yeah, at least I assume it's
maybe I should just tell everyone the ending of Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Oh
Go
my
ahead.
god.
Sonic wins.
Let me guess, it opens up a potential 3rd movie?
Fuck, how'd you guess?
Of course it has to open, but 3rd fucking
Sonic
movie.
the franchise.
Aki, why the fuck are you surprised? They before the movie came out. I was
hoping that it would just die finally.
No.
You enjoyed the first movie.
It was okay.
You enjoyed it.
It was okay.
Yeah, you'll actually like the second one way more.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try it, I guess.
You hear how interested she sounded? Like that was the sound of optimism.
A little bit,
yeah. I was like, really? I'm going to enjoy it?
I'll enjoy something in my life?
No, I enjoy plenty of things, just not particularly.
Just nothing with this show.
Well, no, I enjoy plenty of the games I review. That's kind of tangentially related to the show.
A little. Carnage. So the Tuesday SML episodes will have Elden Ring thumbnails and Thursdays will have Sonic ones.
They could. I mean,
that's fair. Yeah.
And we could
make it Sonic talk the whole time.
Oh, wait. Sonic was in Lego Dimensions, so I could use a Lego Sonic picture.
There you go.
To go with the Lego review.
I hate you so much.
There you go. And also, there's a new Sonic set too.
Is there?
Yeah, they made it's like one of the Lego adult ones. But yeah.
Ooh, Lego adult line.
No, not that kind of line, Aki. I know you got excited.
Hold on, I think George has something to say about that.
SML After Dark.
Yeah, love it.
Anyways, I feel like I've lost like half of my brain cells since this started.
Just because you can't hear it doesn't make it any less funny.
It. Oh, I have this playing in the background.
You have the stream playing in the background?
Yeah.
Like with audio?
Yeah.
Why?
So I can hear when you do stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
But there would be a delay.
Yeah, and?
Not much of a delay. Twitch has been pretty good about that.
Yeah, I only have like a 4-second delay.
That still seems weird, but
Gotta
okay.
get that viewer count up. Yeah, buddy. We're at 6 right now.
Right now at the same time that I can hear, on top of hearing you guys as well. So it's not that particularly weird for me.
Well, anyway, I was about to talk. I also 1K'd something as well.
What'd you 1K?
And I forgot to mention it last episode. Forza Street.
Ooh.
I managed to 1K it a week before it went offline.
Now it's gone forever.
That's right. I know. And they what was really weird is that I thought that they weren't going to shut it down on the day of because it was actually promoting like another like chase car that you'd be able to, do. Like it was like, oh, you'll have 6 days to get it. And then like 11 a.m. the servers went off.
Excuse me.
I have 430 achievement points in that game. Damn, 10 too many. Holy shit, Xbox just sent me a message. They've deposited $10 into my account. Thank you, Xbox.
Oh, damn.
Oh, so I should be checking mine. Okay.
That's nice of
them. The little bloop went off on my computer. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
I wonder if I got anything.
I have not. That's sad.
A sock of shit.
Nifty.
I want free money, too. Oh, well.
So anyway, we should probably get to news.
Sure.
Because with all this money talk, money is being spent. Sony invested $1 billion into Epic Games along with another company, QUByte, the investment company behind the Lego Group, who invested another $1 billion. Some bullshit about building the metaverse.
The metaverse needs to fucking die.
Still $1 billion from Sony and $1 billion from QUByte.
We really need the like Austin Powers music whenever you go $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Da, na, 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 na.
I've never watched any of those movies.
They're good.
The first and third are good. I didn't like the second. It tried too hard to parody the Roger Moore movies. I don't know. I wasn't a fan of it.
Bitch.
I didn't realize there were even
Bree
3.
also just got $10. Hey. Look at that. People are
when
getting.
When do I get mine?
Cash money's flying around.
You ain't getting shit, Aki.
I wouldn't be shocked. It is me, after all.
It's probably for the people who spend like way too much on the Xbox store. They're like, hey, there's a spring sale. Spend some more.
Y'all are going to spend too much any damn way.
Well, they figure like here's $10. We know you're going to spend $140.
Yeah, I was going to say.
If they gave me $10, I'd immediately go buy the Alan Wake game, the remaster, because it's on sale right now. And
For how much?
It's like 22-ish.
Yeah.
And I have 15 on my account right now. So I'm like, if I got that, I'd immediately buy that motherfucker, and I'd probably buy something else just to get rid of the last bit of cash.
You could buy a Rock Band song.
No.
I've got like 26 in my account, so. But
go buy Alan Wake Remastered. It's fantastic.
I'm not really that much of a fan of Alan Wake. I tried with the original Xbox 360 release.
Wow.
Yeah, I have
there was
like,
a lot of people edition of it.
It was fun, but yeah, I don't know.
It was fun. I wasn't into it. Those two things do not combine.
Well, I like the idea behind it, and I liked all the weird like Twilight Zone kind of crap that they tried pulling.
You didn't like the combat, I'm guessing.
No, and like the lack of save areas in it. I really hated like the.
I don't even remember how you saved in that game. It's been so long.
I just remember having such a fucking hard time like getting to like the next light post when you're like running around in the park, and it just I just like that part. I fucking hated.
See, I love
the actual game. So I hated.
See, Alan Wake is one of those games I want to watch someone play it. I just don't want to play it myself.
Well, if you want, you can buy me the game, and I will play it on stream for you.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I fucking love that game. I'll play it on easy, and then I'll turn around and play it on the hardest difficulty, because I know there's going to be an achievement for it, because there was on the 360. And I will put both of them on stream. I don't give a fuck. I love that goddamn game. That's right up there with Control. Big shocker.
Yeah, I can tell. Did we talk about that last week, about how Remedy and Rockstar are getting together to remake Max Payne 1 and 2?
Yes.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
So,
yeah, you'll be able to buy all your bullet time needs with the new Pain cards.
Oh God, Pain cards. Speaking of sequels, Disney and Square Enix have announced that Kingdom Hearts 4 is in development. Also, they're working on a mobile game, but fucking whatever.
I don't know why there needs to be a 4. No one can tell me it can adequately explain.
Because Disney's bought so much shit that they need to have be able to throw that stuff into Kingdom Hearts 4.
But no one can explain the first 12 fucking games in it adequately to understand the fucking story. Well, there doesn't need to be a 4th fucking one.
See, the thing is that people think that there's going to be a level set on Endor from Star Wars.
Yeah, Raider Biz just said that they might add Star Wars into Kingdom Hearts 4. That would be pretty. Yeah,
people think
crazy.
People think that they could see the foot of an ATST in one of the scenes. And the other thing that I read about it is that they already figured out where Sora lives.
Hell?
Tatooine?
No. It's like an actual real place on Earth. They grabbed the architecture for it and somebody figured it out.
Anyway, GameStop is reportedly canceling pre-orders for the Intellivision Amico at the request of Intellivision. More shocking is that people had pre-orders on the Amico.
Yeah, that is kind of shocking.
It's not really surprising because, how many damn times did the thing get pushed back? But then, they had those pre-orders for the games and stuff, and it was those things weren't cheap either.
The games? No, digital games on the Amico. You might be thinking of something else. Digital games on the Amico had to be under $10.
I thought that they did.
And they had to be all family friendly.
I thought they were offering physical copies of them too, and it was you would get maybe a certificate
with the pre-orders.
You would get a certificate of authenticity, and I want to say that they somehow tied NFTs into it.
Oh Jesus Lord. Christ!
I want to say
I never trusted that system, so I never expected it to do well. I'm shocked that it had any fucking pre-orders. So it's it looks like shit. It's about as strong as a fucking Raspberry Pi, and it costs 500 times more. No, thank you. I'd just rather emulate an Atari. Yeah,
they were selling. They were trying to sell NFT games for it back in October 2021.
Oh, that's disgusting. I hope it fails miserably now.
I think it is.
Aki, I don't think it's going to come out. It's going to go the way of the what the hell is that thing called? The Phantom. Remember that way back?
There's been so many.
I'm not that old.
I'm not that old. Fuck off.
I think I'm the youngest one on the podcast, aren't I?
I don't know. I think Brooke isn't she?
No, she's older than me.
Is she?
Yeah. I thought she was younger than me too, and then she stated she was 35. I was like, oh, she's older than I am. Not by much, but she is older than me.
How old are you? I have no idea because you don't give away any kind of actual information about yourself.
Oh, I'm 33 this year.
Oh, okay.
I give out plenty of information, just no one asks because no one cares.
That's very true. You know what I do care about? No. I'm such a dick. I'm sorry.
Or you really need to play Control. It's fantastic.
Want to know what else is fantastic? Capcom Arcade Stadium. And they announced that they're making a second one.
I don't know what that is, but cool.
Capcom Arcade Stadium is a collection of like 32 retro arcade games from Capcom through their entire history.
Is it one of those little tiny like joystick things that hold all the games?
No, it's on Xbox. You just
okay.
It's on sale quite frequently too.
Okay. That's
cool.
You
could buy it. There's a free game to download. I think Ghosts and Goblins is a standalone game for like $2 or something, and then they have packs of 10 games based on the years that they released.
Very nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and now they're doing a second one. They announced that they will be bringing another 32 arcade classics to Xbox, PS4, Switch, and PC. Sun will be a free download, and pre-orders of Capcom Fighting Collection will get 3 Wonders as a bonus game. So, if you wanted to get Capcom Fighting Collection, there's more reason to.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. They haven't announced any other games, but I'm excited to see what they come through with. Let's hope they get something like big. Like the Capcom joystick, that arcade joystick they have has like Aliens versus Predator on it.
Like the old 1992 game?
The arcade game, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's on that big ass class Capcom arcade stick thing that they put out. So, yeah, I'm excited. I am also excited because April 28th, motherfucking Bug Snacks is coming to Xbox and Switch, alongside the Isle of Bug Snacks update. Best of all, Game Pass.
I know you.
A lot of people are excited for that. I'm looking forward to it just simply because it sounds like it could be an interesting game, but I don't know anything the fuck about it at all.
That's sad.
Yeah. All I know is
you shouldn't look into it. You should just enjoy it. Let it happen. Don't some people have compared it a little bit to Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh.
Where not in content wise, but in like twist wise, where you want to play it and experience it, but if you look into it, it kind of gives it away. So just when it comes out, it's on Game Pass, give it a go.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing I know about it is animals are made out of food, and when people eat them, they become part food or something. That's all I know about that game, which is
it's probably more than you should know going into it, but it's still not that much to know. So it's a fun one. You take pictures in it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like taking pictures in games, as long as it's part of the game.
Yeah. Ayuden Chronicle Rising has gotten a May 10th release date for Xbox, Switch, PlayStation, and PC, and it's Game Pass.
I don't know what that game is. What is it?
Like 2D side-scrolling RPG.
I'll go look that up now.
Looks good.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it.
Looks good. And it's going to be on Game Pass, so yay. Vicarious Visions sent out a tweet saying they have officially merged with Blizzard and will now focus on Blizzard games. So if you were hoping the Microsoft purchase would save Vicarious Visions, unfortunately that is not the case, and they go bye-bye.
I'm kind of hating that.
A lot of people
I don't know what they've made.
A lot. Spyro, Crash, Skylanders, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
HD.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, sorry, HD. Forgot to throw that in there.
Yeah, their last game was the Tony Hawk remaster, which was very well received.
I haven't played the remaster. I only played the originals. I've played nothing but those 2 games.
You should play the remaster if you liked it. It's a really, really good remaster.
Is it on the Xbox?
Yeah. Do you not pay attention to what releases?
I try. I fail miserably, but I try.
I was going to say, somehow you're worse than me at this one.
Yeah.
I spend my time playing games. I never bother to look them up.
Okay, if I would have known you were interested, I would have had you review it.
Oh, well.
I never would have thought you would be into fucking action sports.
Yeah, I like skateboarding games, and that's about it. I've never been particularly fond of any of the other sports, but
learn something
I really
new
liked
every day.
that back in the day. Yeah, I haven't played one since 1 or 2. I don't know which one I played back on the PS2, I haven't played one since then, but I like those, and I used to like the old, again, also on the PlayStation 2, the skate or the snowboarding games.
Cool Borders.
Oh, SSX. No.
I don't know which one, to be honest.
Original PlayStation?
No, PS2.
PS2, it might have been SSX.
Yeah.
Okay.
SSX3 is my favorite.
Yeah, I just like the doing all the little tricks is just kind of fun.
It's not a popular pick, but I really licked.
You licked?
I really liked SSX Blur on the Wii that had the motion tricks. I thought that was a pretty entertaining game. It was a lot more fun than I expected. The soundtrack was baller. It was like completely original dynamic music from Junkie XL.
Yeah,
it was just really good.
EA always gets a good soundtrack for their games, especially the SSX series. I really wish that the third one was still that wasn't out of print. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's so weird looking at the SSX series nowadays because it's just like I like the newer ones, but they also feel way too damn big. But then when I go back and play SSX3, I'm like, yeah, this feels about right. But like, there's no way I'd pay more than $20 for a game that size. Like, I don't. And I know EA would never. Like, oh yeah, we're just going to release like a $20 game. Like, no.
I don't know. You could always do the 360 SSX. That one was pretty solid.
Well, yeah. Or wait, which one are you talking about? Are you
just
talking
SSX?
About? Yeah. That's what I was talking. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, it's just too big. Like, because I also had that, and also I also had On Tour. On Tour wasn't bad, but I don't know.
Ah, well. Some sad news. CD Projekt Red has announced that the new gen upgrade for The Witcher 3 has been postponed until further notice. And apparently the first expansion for Cyberpunk will not be out until 2023.
Jeez.
GG.
I wonder if they're still working on Cyberpunk, trying to make it better then. Maybe they're like, yeah, let's push this back and just work more on Cyberpunk to get it better than it is currently, because it's gotten better. Still not great, but so I'm wondering if
I liked what I got to play, but I already feel like I have to restart the game. Like,
oh, I know I have to.
I have no idea what the hell's going on or how some of the powers work.
Carnage. I'll play Cyberpunk when it's fully done in a few years.
I mean,
well, that's the thing with The Witcher. I'm like, I haven't started any of those games, and I'm just like, I think
The Witcher 2 took like 3 years, maybe 4, before it was done. Before they're like, okay, this is finished. We've done all the patches and everything. This is now a good functioning game. It took like 3 or 4 fucking years.
For Witcher 2, really?
Yeah. I
don't know, because I only played it when it hit 360. I never played it on PC.
Yeah, it came out in not good shape, and the same for 3, if I remember correctly. It came out really badly too. Cyberpunk still came out the absolute fucking worst. That was fucking abysmal, and I don't know how the hell that got out in that state. But man, I have to say though, I still do enjoy it. I mean, it's a fucking mess. Still kind of fun, I have to admit. I enjoyed what I played, and I played it right when it first came out.
No.
Up until I hit a game-breaking bug that wouldn't allow me to progress, and then I had to sit there for like, I think it was like 6 or 7 months before they fixed the fucking thing.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was bad.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Last bit of news I have: Aspire Media announced that they are acquiring Beamdog.
Cool. I don't know who either of those are. So
Aspire's been doing a lot of like remaster stuff. HD upgrade, like the Star Wars stuff they've been doing.
Okay.
Beamdog, they did like I think the Baldur's Gate remakes that just came out, and the like Neverwinter Nights.
Okay.
Meh.
So
I mean, I dug the Baldur's Gate game that I played.
I've never
Dark Alliance.
played them.
What was it? No, Dark Alliance is D&D. Or wait.
yeah, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance.
It's Dark Alliance.
Yeah, but there was
But this was Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2, like the old ones, the old PC ones that they handled.
Okay.
See, I've never played a Baldur's Gate game, and the only one that interests me is the new one that they're still working on.
Well, that's my news. Any of you have any news to talk about?
Gilbert Gottfried died.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Not really video game related, but
no, but it's still news.
Outside of Kingdom Hearts.
It had to be video. You didn't say it had to be video game news.
Of course, Aki talks about. Oh, Jesus. Jacob, what about you? What news do you have?
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 watch.
It's already out. There can't still be fucking news about this goddamn game.
It's not out everywhere.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Anyway, so Sonic the Hedgehog 2 has actually set records. It is the highest grossing video game movie highest grossing opening weekend for a video game movie. It pulled in over $72 million. Yeah. So
do people not realize there's still a pandemic going on? Like, people forget that shit.
I mean, I went and watched Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man movie, whatever the fuck it was, and my mom and I were the only two in the movie theater.
See, like going to a movie like that, I can understand. But going to a packed house, like we went to go see Jackass. It was us and one other couple in the theater, and that was perfect. And the movie was fucking hilarious.
That's why we took the kids to go see Sonic when we did. I was
gonna say they took them to see Jackass. I was like, what?
Well, you got to get them early into it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have to get them started with the dumb humor, or else they're never going to grow to like it.
Eddie, what's that Godzilla?
God,
it's his balls.
That's so fucking funny. Okay, what other news?
I don't know. I could have sworn I had other Sonic the Hedgehog news, but I don't think I do. So,
okay, how about non-Sonic news?
Well, you said the Vicarious Visions thing, so yeah, I don't think I have anything else actually.
Hey, are we getting the reviews then?
Yeah, we could.
Yes.
All right, well, we're gonna start off with a Lego game. So, Aki, we're going to send you away, and we're gonna cut to the review. Yes. All right, through the magic of editing, the first game to talk about tonight is called Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, developed by TT Games, published by Warner Brothers Games, released April 5th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC for $59.99. The galaxy is yours in Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Experience memorable moments and non-stop action from all 9 Skywalker Saga films, reimagined with signature Lego humor. Jacob, I hear you got some guests on for this one.
Yep, my kids are on.
Yay.
Hi.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
So what is Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga?
So pretty much it's episodes 1 through 9, like the original trilogy, the prequels, and the Disney sequel trilogy. And you get to go through different moments in each of those movies. Now, some of them were already covered previously in the other Lego Star Wars releases. Other ones are just completely new scenes that we didn't get to do before, like blowing up like the Trade Federation ship at the end of episode 1. There's also some stuff in the Judland Wastes in episode 4. And it's like, for me, it's really cool because there's a lot of stuff that like we didn't get the chance to do. And the ones that, are ones that we already did, they've provided like a new spin on it. Kind of like the episode 1 pod racing scene. It's now done in first person. So if you were a big fan of the old Nintendo 64 episode 1 racer game, you can kind of relive those fantasies, except now with Lego. What do you want to say, Sam?
There's one part of the video that I did like of the comedy where one of them gets their tongue stuck into the door.
Oh, Jar Jar Binks.
Mm-hmm. How he gets his tongue stuck into the door.
Yeah, he keeps getting his tongue stuck on stuff, and thankfully it comes to save Qui-Gon in one of the in one of the cutscenes.
Wait, how?
Well, because Jar Jar like sticks his tongue out, it gets stuck in the door as the ship takes off, and then Qui-Gon jumps onto Jar Jar and they ride away. So it does have like the classic Lego humor. One of the nice things is that there's actually voice acting in this.
I was just about to ask, is it voice acted, or is it just like the standard physical humor that the old Lego Star Wars games are?
It's both.
Did they get any of the big names for the voice acting, or are they like video clips? Like audio clips from the movies?
So I think they actually just got voice actors and sound-alikes. Now, there were like sometimes where it sounded kind of like the original actors, but I'm not entirely sure. I know the person who did the voice acting for Leia. I know that is not Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, I kind of figured that one.
Because she passed away, but they didn't. It doesn't seem like they re-recorded any, or they recorded any of her stuff. Although I will say this, I heard this from other people. The farther you get along in A New Hope, she actually loses her British accent, like halfway through the Lego game, which is what she does in the movie too. So I thought that was a pretty nice addition. But if you want to go back to the old, like the old style where everyone's like, that kind of stuff, there actually is a feature to turn that on, and so you can have them acting like the old Lego Star Wars games.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I am looking at the voice cast on IMDb, and to the surprise of absolutely nobody, Billy D. Williams is Lando.
Okay, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, he played Lando in Jedi Outcast way back in 2002. So, I mean, that doesn't really surprise me that he was just like, heck yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, he's done it on, like, I think anything that Lando has ever been featured in, he has still done the voice for. He has been so game to do voice acting for Lando, and I am absolutely not surprised to see him on here. And he's like one of the only ones that I recognize from the movies as being in here.
Okay. Well, that's cool that he did it. But yeah, what's up, Sam?
There was one part that I did like, that they would show Mandalorian characters when there was no Mandalorian, like parts where like you
mean how you got to use the different action or the different costume packs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the version that we got to review is I think it's called the deluxe version or ultimate. I'm not sure. But it includes the season pass for all the character DLC, and so the kids were running around as Mandalorian characters in some of the levels, which they liked because then they got to run around as the Mandalorian, and then Baby Yoda was following behind them.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's kind of cute.
The kids were a big fan of that. So
yeah, the deluxe edition is available for $10 more at $69.99 and includes 7 character packs. It also includes the exclusive classic Obi-Wan playable character. So there you go.
Yeah, and they've released Mandalorian Season 1 and Solo ones, and I know that there's going to be a Mandalorian Season 2 coming along. That was shown.
Yeah, Rogue One, Trooper Pack, classic characters, and The Bad Batch.
Okay, The Bad Batch is a current show that's on Disney Plus. It's a spinoff of the Clone Wars.
So what else about the game is there to talk about?
So if you haven't played a Lego Star Wars game since the classic ones, like back on the Xbox 360, this is a huge jump with that. In the previous one, there was like a small little hub world, Mos Eisley Cantina, and then you could go into separate rooms that featured each one of the different movies, which then branched out to 6 different scenes. In this one, you just straight up land on planets. You can actually take off from the planets and like go like do some space battles, or you could shoot down a comet and like get studs or get Kyber brick, which helps you level up your characters. which more on that in a little bit.
Is it like Go Man Sky?
No. No, that was a terrible joke.
I know it was.
You should be ashamed. Anyway, so when you're on the planets, instead of like that standard hub world, it just gives you like, I mean, first off, if you just want to fool around on the planet and just like go kill bad guys or ride creatures the whole time, you can. What do you want to say, Sam?
There was one area inside of the desert planet where
Tatooine?
Yeah, Tatooine, where Sasa and I just liked the being there, and it was this character that had like this giant like this staff with like a knife at like top part.
The gaffy stick from the Tusken Raiders?
Yeah, no, not that. No.
The Sand People?
No.
The Skiff Guards?
Wait, what?
Okay. Anyway, he liked playing with the gaffy stick.
But it had like, it was sharp on, like it was like a harpoon on the bottom and then like a butter knife on the top. And then I like being that character because there's an area where like you could fight Tusken Raiders.
Tusken Raiders.
Mm-hmm. And I backed off, and then I went back there because I like surprising them and one using like an attack.
Okay. So what?
The giant alien pit.
Yeah, you can talk about the Sarlacc pit.
The Sarlacc pit actually looks way better than the old version.
So if you remember episode 6, Return of the Jedi, the Sarlacc pit is the thing that Jabba the Hutt tries to feed Luke and his friends into. Now, I didn't come across it while I was running around, but apparently the kids did.
Oh, you could actually... Wait. In the new or old version?
In the new one.
Oh. You have to, like, go past this, like, cave area and, like, blah, blah, blah.
Cave area and blah, blah, blah. So if you're wanting to know how to get there, you go past the cave area, blah, blah, blah. You'll just see it right there.
No, you turn... There's this, like...
Is that like yada, yada, yada for a new age?
I guess so. All right, what do you need to say, Silas?
The lightsabers are much glorious and your face is much gooder.
All right, so the lightsabers are brighter and the graphics are much better, which I'm in total agreement with.
So this is the first one kind of like built for the ground up for like new generation, isn't it?
Pretty much. I mean, the Force Awakens game was released on Xbox One. But honestly, I like, and I feel bad about this, but I keep forgetting that game exists. But going back to this, so each world you could just run around on, and there's like, when I say that each world is huge, I'm not kidding. Like each one is huge. Like we're talking like I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of because I don't want to say it's like, oh, it's like Skyrim huge, because that's not real. Like that's not true. But like I'm trying to think of like another like RPG or something that it compares to. But I mean, like when you run around on Coruscant, you are running around like a huge city. Like probably like on the like same level as like Lego City Undercover or something like that.
Now here's my concern. Is it overloaded with stuff to do? Because that's something that I found in some of the Lego games is there's just too much to do.
Just a second. So there is a lot to do. I mean, if you just want to go through and just blow through all like the missions, you can. There's gonna be a bunch of like stuff that you have to run in between to get to the next mission. But there is but if you want to, there are side quests that you could do and people you could talk to and like things you can ride around on. So there is, if you want to play it quick, you can. Otherwise, there's a ton of exploring to do. What do you want to say, Sam?
One time, what is the desert planet called?
Tatooine.
On Tatooine, I found a moondog on the planet, and when you tried getting the brick for studs, it was literally in its jaws, and once you tried getting it, it dig down, and then you had to defeat all these moondogs, and you had to figure out which one had the brick. At the end, you're just supposed to, like, find...
You have to chase after it. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I had to redo that one.
I actually did that.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the beasts are called. The kids keep calling them moon dogs.
Because they look like one.
They look like a moon dog? How do you know what a moon dog looks like?
I don't know.
Have you been to the moon?
No, I mean the moon dog from Star Wars.
What is a moon dog from Star Wars? Okay, anyway.
You have a moon dog toy.
So how long is the game? How far did you get in?
Well, funny story about that.
No.
Oh, shush. So, I was about 3% through the game, which, I mean, you have to realize there is a lot of content to this game, and I hadn't even scratched the surface, and that was about 3 evenings worth of playing, and then...
Don't.
We have to talk about it, Sam.
Don't. Yes! Oh.
Sam, it is fine.
This is my fault, though.
Sam, we all... In fact, in a later review, I get to talk about how I deleted my own save game. So don't worry about it. Yeah, the puzzle game I'm going to be talking about in a bit. Yeah, I deleted my own save game by accident.
Proud of you.
Thank you. So anyways, the next morning I get up and I'm about to be like, hey guys, I did episode 1 and I have all this stuff that you can play. And then I get in there and the game file is not there. And it turns out that the kids decided that they were bored and didn't want to do episode 1. So they started up a new game on episode 7.
That was in the evening, not in the
Well, I know, but I discovered it in the morning. Anyway, and for me, the best part was that not only did they delete the save file that had all of the stuff that I had unlocked and found and upgraded, they started up an episode 7 game and then promptly noped out of it. So we started, and we have almost all of the content that we have back, but now the kids now know how to access the other episodes, right?
Yes.
There we go.
And second of all...
I will say this, though. That menu is not intuitive, and I kind of wish that they had, it was an easier way to hop in between all the episodes, because it actually took me a little bit to figure out where the heck I was supposed to go to do that, because I wanted to be able to tell the kids, hey, because there was a hot minute there where I was like, don't touch the Xbox, don't touch anything, don't touch the game, blah, 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 blah. And, and then I had to go through the menus and figure it out. And yeah, it's kind of hidden. What do you want to say, Sam?
I forgot.
Okay, good talk. What do you want to say, Silas?
Well, I want this to end.
You want this to end?
Oh, I remember.
Okay.
Why do I keep forgetting?
All right, great talk.
All right, so the game is $60.
Whoa.
What? It's been 20 minutes. How long does this have to go?
Well, the thing is that there's also a huge difference between this one and the old ones.
Well, then get to it, buddy.
There's now features that are kind of like an RPG with this. And by using the Kyber bricks in your studs, you can actually get more... Give me a second. So you can actually find more things that you can upgrade. And it's your force powers will work differently, or you can have the studs they're just attracted to you, not like how studs are usually attracted to you, Joe, but but the Lego studs will come to you, or you will collect money for translating what this alien has to say. There's all sorts of stuff that you can upgrade, and so exploring this game really helps out. And then the only downside I would have to say that I have this far is that because it's a much bigger world and the things are not as clear cut, much like this review, my youngest son Silas actually got bored pretty quickly with it. And he wasn't a fan, he wasn't as big of a fan of just running around and doing stuff. The old Lego games, it was very clear, you're moving from point A to point B. Yeah, there's a little bit of exploration in it, but it's still very short, very contained within that level. And this game doesn't really have that. All right, Silas, what did you want to say?
Well, I want this to end.
Yeah, we know. Siam?
two things. First of all, at one point when we were wandering around the desert planet anyway, we found the place with the giant creature pit anyway. There's a cliff area where you could die, and Silas would turn into C-3PO.
Okay.
And since you know how C-3PO can split his body in half.
Yeah, that's a new feature too. C-3PO can split his body in half, and then you have to guide the legs to go back to the torso, or the torso to go back to the legs. It's kind of fun.
But what he'll do is he broke it apart, and I was being somebody who was the Force, and I had to keep him back from falling down the cliff. But sometimes I could catch him about to fall down the cliff.
Okay.
And then one time he switched into the pants or the head. He'll switch into it to get away, but sometimes I'll lift up him if he wants a ride, so then I could just walk around with him instead of him walking.
Okay, I think we're ready to wrap this up.
Yeah. Oh, and my second thing is,
oh my gosh.
I actually.
Are you okay? You okay, buddy? You hit your elbow? Okay, well, I'll teach you not to do it again. All right.
Oh, so
all right, quick, your second thing.
I actually felt sorry for you after I deleted it, so I tried episode 1 again.
But I already did episode 1.
Remember?
Oh, you started it, right. Okay.
I started it again to try helping you.
Okay, yeah. All right, cool. All right, Joe, wrap it up.
$60. I need a verdict.
$60, absolutely. Although I will say this for parents.
Wait, I have one more thing to say.
Oh my gosh. It better not be that you want to wrap this up.
Well, Squishy is from a different show.
What?
Squishy's from a different show.
Who's Squishy?
The guy up there.
Yeah, that's from Bob's Burgers. That's not related to this in any way, shape, or form.
Squishy, cute, and funny.
Okay. Anyway, so $60, absolutely. Although I will say this: if you're buying this mostly for your kids, if they're age 4 or so, around Silas's age, you may want to stick with the original Lego Star Wars, where it's more self-contained. But if they're older, 7 or 8, this is definitely a great buy. Although it's a tad bit more reading intensive, obviously.
I have one more thing to say.
Sam, what is your one more thing that you have to say?
I think Silas likes the older version because one of the doors leads to free play, in the city area.
This has free play too.
No, I mean, one of the doors would lead you to, this little city, and you had...
Oh, the little hidden city thing?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
He loved that.
Okay.
So.
Well, who knows? Maybe it's in here. We got a lot of more exploring to do in this game. Okay, anyway.
$100.
No, it's not $100. All right.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, well, I am going to let you wrangle the kids and do what you got to do, and we're going to move on to something from Aki. How about that?
Okay, sounds great.
Kids, do you have any final words?
Do you have any final words from Mr. Joe? Yes. How about thank you for procuring this game for us to review?
Thank you for this game for us to review.
All right, next game we are bringing Aki back while Jacob takes care of the kids. Aki, you ready to talk about Sally Face?
Sure.
All right, because next game to talk about is Sally Face, developed and published by Portable Moose, released April 15th on Xbox One and Series X and S for $14.99. Delve into an unsettling adventure following a boy with a prosthetic face as he uses his handheld video game system to speak with the dead and learn their stories. After a string of mysterious murders, Sal and his 3 friends discover something truly sinister, casting shadows over their small town. Aki, what's going on in Sally Face?
This game is fucked up the game. Have fun, folks. You play as Sally Face, and the thing about this game was it was originally on the PC, and it was released in episodes. There was 5 episodes. All 5 of them are in this. So yay, because it's been completed for a while now. And each one takes part during a different time of Sally Face's life. All of them being after he's moved into this apartment building in bumfuck nowhere. I have no idea where this place actually is. And weird shit starts happening. The thing is, this is all him talking about his past. Because it turns out he's in prison for murder.
Nice.
Yeah, and he has the death penalty hanging over him. He's trying to get out of that and telling about what's happened in his life to try and get out of the death sentence. Because apparently he's going to get the chair or the needle or something like soon. And so he's talking to people about what's going on, and it's all giant conspiracy theory involving a cult that's summoning demons or demon-like things. And that car was loud.
It was.
Yeah, I could hear that and feel it. I was like, what the fuck? So it
what
has
the fuck?
to do with,
Just like Sally Face.
yeah, pretty much. Basically, this cult has somehow controlled this town or something, and they're doing nefarious shit and covering it all up. But Sally Face and a couple other kids from the apartment, Larry, the punk rocker, Todd the techie, and Alice the girl, because, you know, they have to have the girl, TM. Nothing else to her, really. She's just the girl. Anyways, so the 4 of them get together and they're like, yes, we're gonna solve the mysteries, and they solve fucking nothing. Newsflash. They're children. Big shocker. They're not very competent against, you know, full-grown adults. But they try. And yeah.
Bless their hearts.
Yeah. You start interacting with ghosts and figuring out what the hell happened to them, and find that most of the shit's all been covered up. And you start even finding people doing bad things, and that getting covered up as well. It's like everything, you figure something out. You're like, okay, we're going to find some way of getting this to the people. And then it's dealt with before you can do anything, like constantly. And the whole time, Sally's just trying so hard to get this shit out. But there's just, by the time they're going to get something out, it's gone. It's fantastic. It's not supposed to be comedy, but it's pretty funny to me because of that.
Well, you're a fucked up person, so.
Yes. It does have a lot of gore and stuff, but it's not particularly realistic looking. Because just from the style, the art style that the game has, it's not particularly scary or anything.
No. It is M-rated though, so we should point that out. This is not for the kids.
Oh yeah, this has language occasionally, and it has a whole lot of blood and like people skin suits and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, stuff like that. So it's definitely not for fucking kids. No, not at all. And yeah, that's really it. There's not a lot to talk about because every chapter takes like an hour and a half, 2 hours. If you know what you're doing, that's about it. They're fun. I enjoyed it.
Well, it's $15. Same price on Steam if you get the full package. What are your thoughts?
I'm totally for it. I think lots of people will like this.
Cool. All right. Works for me. Jacob, you back yet?
No.
Good. Next game to talk about is Godfall Ultimate Edition, developed by Counterplay Games, published by Gearbox Publishing, released April 7th on Xbox One, Series X and S for $39.99. Smash through your enemies and seize ultimate power in this loot-powered action-adventure set in a bright fantasy world. Jacob, tell us about your time with Godfall Ultimate Edition finally making the jump to Xbox.
First off, I want to say, holy shit, is this game beautiful. Like, through and through. Like, the locations are gorgeous. The character models look awesome. like this is just a really beautiful game to look at. Enough that my wife, who usually does not give a Texas shit about what games I'm playing, she actually like stopped to watch me play. So like,
does not give a Texas shit about what I'm playing.
Like, so honestly, the artists on this game, like, pat yourselves on the back. You made a very, very pretty game. That being said, also, speaking of the art, I found it kind of weird that at the beginning, like, especially at the loading screens, they had our main character who's wearing this kind of like, it looks kind of like a jackal mech helmet, and his arms are in a position. And I was like, I feel like I've seen this before. And it looks like they, you know, I don't want to say borrowed, but I'm going to say borrowed. It looks like they borrowed the pose from Optimus Prime on one of the 2007 Transformers posters from that movie. And then it loads in and introduces another character's face. And I'm just like, that looks like Megatron, like from the same exact movie, which I was like, but I digress.
Nah, I don't know. I didn't see any. I wasn't looking for it though, so I wasn't paying attention for Transformers.
I wasn't looking for Transformers either.
You're always like, looking for Transformers. Don't lie.
Well, yeah, I like playing with them, but
yeah.
But anyway,
it's like these nuts.
No, nobody wants to play with your nuts. Nobody.
But do people want to play with Godfall?
All right, so the game has a tutorial, which I'm not gonna lie, it takes you a while. It feels like it takes at least an hour to go through, and it shows you all the different controls and like, you know, this is how you do stuff. And you're beating up enemies as you go through, and it tries to explain some of the stuff in the story. Like it's like a conversation between you and like your little robot like pal who's like floating in the air and talks to you like C-3PO, and it's like, oh, your odds are beating this person are 1,000 to 1. Thanks. And stuff like that. So I'm not gonna lie, that part's dry. And the first time I played it, I actually had no clue what the hell was going on. None of it made sense, and I was just like, I hate this. This is disappointing that it's just so, you know, like it's so beautiful, but like I'm not having fun. And then I ended up stumbling on this boss character who just like completely kicked my ass, like killed me.
Shocking.
Whatever. Anyway, so I was just like, oh, screw this game. I'm not gonna I'll just play it tomorrow night, and I did.
And died again?
Reason, no, I haven't died since. For whatever reason, like this game just suddenly clicked with me, and I'm like running through this thing, like I'm killing people left and right, like I'm defeating like all these like huge ass crazy looking enemies, and I'm just having fun with it because like I'm also getting like engrossed in the world. And the weird thing is like I didn't run into that same guy that killed me before, so I don't know if that's on purpose or if the game glitched, or maybe I just ran into an area that I wasn't able to find the second time around. I don't know,
maybe,
but yeah, like I was having all sorts of fun, like, you know, just like picking up treasure and like exploring the thing, then getting scared because somehow a guy in knight armor managed to sneak up on me. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how that happens, because, you know, you'd figure he's in knight armor, so he's like, oh god, how did you get there? Like,
boo.
Yeah, like, you know, why didn't I hear this guy from like a mile away? But yeah, so then after you get through like the tutorial stuff, you get introduced to a menu which lets you choose what missions you want to play, and of course there's still more story stuff that you have to do to get to the other side stuff. And those missions are fun. It's standard, like, you know, go from point A to point B, explore the beautiful world, open up treasure chests, kill lots of bad guys, kill a final boss, yay, loot. Make sure you constantly go through your inventory, by the way, like, you know, just to get rid of or, you know, find the strongest sword, because that was another thing that I hadn't realized that I could do. For some reason, I thought it was like I don't know. Like, I thought I had to wait till the end of the mission to get all my loot.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, I know. Well, it was just like the second time around, like it felt like it was explaining stuff to me better. Like it was weird. But anyway,
were you high the first time?
I was baked both times. Like both playthroughs of this. Like when I semi restarted on the second playthrough. So anyway, there is a social aspect to this, and you can do multiplayer, but you're required to get all the way up to level 50 before you're allowed to do that. And I was just like, why? Like, because like I want to go through this game and I want to have fun with my friends. Why the heck do I have to wait till level 50 to do it? It's a bizarre choice that I don't agree with. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of felt like I got tricked into playing like Destiny with swords. But honestly though, I'm having a lot of fun. The game is gonna stay on my Xbox for a while. So honestly, like that right there is a sign that, you know, it's definitely worth your time.
I think you fucked up because I don't think you have to be level 50 to play online.
That's what it says. Like when you go into social, it won't let you choose the missions until you're at level 50.
Really?
Yeah.
That is
unless
weird.
that's a totally different feature that I was looking at. But it says you can't do it until you're at level 50.
Maybe
like,
I'm reading old information then, because I know the game was updated and this is like the ultimate edition and they allow you to skip to level 50 if you want. You can go into your character power screen and you can choose to just skip to level 50 if you really want. And I guess that's why they have that restriction.
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay. Well, honestly, though, I was having a shitload of fun as single player, which, you know, is always a good
I have too. I honestly didn't really look into the online stuff, so I guess I'm wrong with thinking that it doesn't. Carnage is backing you up in chat saying that the whole level requirement thing, I didn't even notice it because I didn't bother trying to try online. I was enjoying playing solo, and I kept finding myself saying while I was playing, this is so much better than people said it was.
Yeah, like honestly, I was having a ton of fun. Like I feel like this is what Too Human should have been.
Like when it came out, everyone was like, it looks good, but it's not that great. Like, I'm having fun with this fucking game. What are people pissed about? Maybe because we only had to pay $30 for the Ultimate Edition on Xbox, where they had to pay like $70 on PS4 on PS5.
I'm sorry, what?
It was a full price game on PlayStation 5 when it launched. It was a launch title for PS5.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and now we're finally getting it. That's why I said it finally made the jump over.
$30?
Well, it's $39.99, but for the first week, it's on sale for $29.99.
Shit.
Yeah,
that's a good deal.
So
that's
$40 really on this one. What are your thoughts?
Hell yeah! Honestly, I'd be cool with 60. Like, this is a really fun game, and as I said, I'm gonna keep it on my Xbox. I'm gonna keep playing this. Because not only am I having fun with it, but my wife enjoys watching it, and like, there's almost no game that she enjoys watching.
Well, there you go, some bonding time.
Yeah, so right there, like, this is a keeper. So, I highly recommend it. You know, the tutorial's a little bit of a slog, but once you get going, you get going.
Cool. Yeah, I can agree with you on this one, especially at the discounted price. If you could get it for $30. Don't pass it up. I didn't have high hopes for this one going into it, and it exceeded my expectations. So that, in my eyes, is a buy it. All right, next game to talk about is a sketchbook about her son, developed by Team SolEtude, published by Fantastico Studio, released April 8th on Xbox One, Series X and S for $4.99. Confused about her feelings for someone, Lucia, the main character, decides to flee from her city and wanders through a smaller town where she's never been, searching for herself while still tormented by the thought of the person she's attracted to. Aki, tell us about your time with a sketchbook about her son.
Okay, I'm glad it stated that it was relationship issues, because that's all I got from that thing was, man, this girl is dealing with a real bad fucking breakup. That's all I could think the entire time. I'm like, Jesus. Okay. In this, you, I guess, kind of play as her, sort of. It's basically you listen to music and you watch her, and occasionally bits of a comic show up that she's drawing, and you get to choose singular words. It usually gives you a choice between two, or it just gives you one that you have to choose. And whichever one of the words you choose changes the comic ever so very slightly. And at the end of each little chapter, there's a little poem, basically, that's written using the words that you've chosen. So it's completely different based on what words you choose. Comic to a lesser degree. So
it's like a choose your own poem, visual novel, music video album.
Yeah, kind of. Because the end does not change at all. Nothing changes at the end. So it's not really a choose your own adventure. It's a choose your own poem for each chapter. That's it. It's a pretty quick one. You can beat it in about 30-ish minutes. And by that, I mean, you'll beat it in 30-ish minutes. You don't really have a choice in that matter.
Unless you replay stages.
Well, even
if you play straight through, stuff. I think it's 33 minutes. I think they timed it out.
Yeah.
Because you're basically, this is 11 segments of the game, each corresponding to a song from, let me look it up here, the album Planet X from the band Red Ribbon.
Yeah, like every one of your choices is timed. So, and after you choose it, it still goes through that timer. It just doesn't show it anymore.
Yeah.
So it takes exactly how long it takes, period. You can go through it and not make any fucking choices too. There's an achievement for that.
Yeah, which is when people say you can get an autoplay in 30 minutes for 1K. Literally all you have to do is start it, let the song play, and hit A to continue at the end of the song, and you'll get a 1K on this.
Yep, it's fantastic.
And also fantastic is the music. Like, this is really solid soundtrack. The album, the band Red Ribbon, I'm going to have to look into them. I thought the music was really fucking good. Jacob, did you get any time with this one?
I literally got to start it up. I got 2 achievements, and then I had to go off and do stuff.
Wrangle children.
Yeah.
What did you think of the music?
I literally started it up, got 2 achievements, and had to go wrangle children.
So useless. The music in this reminds me of hippie music, honestly. Like, love and peace and just really mellow is just like all I get from this. I'm just like, yeah, I could totally see some hippie girl doing like one of those weird little dances to this, and it would just be right at home. So chill. I really liked it, though.
Raider Biz saying, for anyone that doesn't care about achievements, this kind of sucks. It depends. If you like the music, I think it's worth checking out. It's only $5. So it's one of those where I could just say, fuck it. It's only $5. Check it out. The music is really good. If you don't like the music, you're not going to like the game. It's not really much of a game. It's just like an interactive album experience. And I don't have a problem with seeing stuff like that come out. I think it's cool to see different projects like that available. And for $5, I definitely give it a fuck it. Why not?
Yeah. And this time, Scotty, I won't yell at you for being a useless fuck and not actually reading the visual novel. You can just listen to the music, and I will accept that this time. For once, you will get an acceptance from me for playing this. Be happy.
Oh, there you go. Acceptance.
The only time it'll ever happen.
All right, we got one final game to talk about tonight that is called Hidden Shapes, Animals and Lovely Cats, developed by Yaw Studios, published by QUByte Interactive, released April 14th, Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, and PS5 for $3.99. Hidden Shapes, Lovely Cats and Animals is a collection with 2 beautiful and relaxing minimalist hand-drawn jigsaw puzzles that have 2 options to choose, cats or animals in general. Jacob, what else is there to say about this?
calling this game peaceful is a load of shit. All right. Just because you play relaxing nature music and you have like random birds chirping, which, you know, if you're above the influence, you're like, these birds are out late. Why are they out at 11 o'clock at night? And then you're like, wait a second, I think it's from the game. Okay. And then anyway, yeah, no, this game. All right. First off, you get like, I think it's like 40, maybe 50 puzzles on each side of the game. So it's like, you're like, oh, cool. Like, you know, somewhere between like 80 and 100 puzzles. Wrong. It's actually like 25 puzzles. And then they like redo it as like 1-star versus 2-star. And the 2-star means that you now have to do the background as well. All right.
And it's harder.
Yeah. And it's harder because, well, the whole game has its own like weird difficulty, because the thing is, you will have puzzle pieces that you have to rotate. And that's like, it's not like a regular jigsaw where it's in a box all scrambled up. All the pieces are where they're supposed to be, but you have to rotate them so they're in the correct, like, so they make the correct picture. Well, the thing is that you will have tiles that have like the smallest white dot on them. And like, and if you're sitting from like 5 feet away, you may not see it. And there was actually a point where I was actually about to message Joe, and ask him, like, you know, hey man, I think you need to get in touch with like the game devs, because this one puzzle, like, I can't get past it. Like, the image is complete, blah, 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 blah. And then like, before I actually shot off that message to you, I noticed that there was like one like little, like, I swear to God, the dot was like 2 pixels across. And I was just like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I turned the tile and all of a sudden it does like the, you know, like fireworks explosion that you get with every single thing. And I was like, oh man,
yeah, there's some tricky puzzles where the pieces could use a little bit more detail on there.
Well, it's nice that there's like a little cheat thing where you can just hit Y and like it'll bring up the like the image behind the stuff. And so, like, you know, anything that's in red lines is not correct. But the problem is that if you have one of those tiles like with a little like tiny pixel of a white blotch that's missing, you're not going to notice it as a red blotch either.
No.
And it's just like, there has to be a better way to do this. And yeah. So, I mean, like, getting all the puzzles done, like, that's kind of fun. It's like minus like when you have those like little tiny tiles. But my real big complaint is, and if you recall from the Lego Star Wars review, and issues with save files. So I was like, oh, well, I want to save my progress in this game. And the menus don't really have any words on them. In fact, they don't have any words on them. And so I go up to the thing, which I think is a save icon, and I click on the thing that has the green check mark next to a save file. Yeah, well, guess what? That erased all of my progress on the cat side of the game. All of it. And I was just like, and I think I had gotten to the, I don't know if I had gotten to the 2-star puzzles yet, but I had at least gotten to like 13 or 15 or something like that. I felt what I was deep in. And it was just like, once I realized that like my save progress was gone, I was just like, you know what, fuck this. I'm starting up with the animal side. I just can't do the little cats right now. I cannot.
Oh, you dumb bitch.
So yeah. So on one hand, the game is fun and relaxing. On the other hand, no, it's fucking not. And the menus are terrible. Like, so that being said, for $5, it's
$4.
Yeah. Oh, it's $4.
$3.99, baby.
For $3.99, yeah. Like, why not? I mean, it's $3.99. All the achievements are really easy if you've got the time to put into it. And it, like, honestly, it's not bad. It's just there are some major improvements I would like to see with it.
Yeah, a little more detail in the menus to make things more
make it clear intuitive. Make it clear that, hey, by the way, you're going to erase your game if you select this. Not just have like little pictographs which don't accurately represent what's going to happen.
Oh, man.
I was so upset.
They should put an achievement in the game for resetting your save data and just call it
For
good job,
deleting your
Jacob.
They'll do that for the DLC.
There you go, Yas Studios. Just throw an achievement in there, resetting your save data. Good job, Jacob.
I would honestly, that would be great. I'd actually list that on my resume. I had an Xbox. Why should we hire you? I had an Xbox achievement named after me.
I think Carnage has one named after him.
Yeah, see? Although Carnage is actually like semi-famous, though. We're not.
I think he has like 1 or 2, actually. 2 or 3, maybe.
Damn it. We need to start becoming friends with game devs.
I know, right?
Maybe we should just make our own game.
I want to find someone who can make a game that is just like a dinky 2D platformer where you just got to go through the level and collect pancakes. And when you collect them all, you get Purnell going, fucking yeah.
That seems solid.
I need that to happen. Just SML the video game and you're collecting wet pancakes.
Why don't you learn Unity?
Because I'm stupid.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop a lot of people, though.
I like how I called myself stupid and Aki still didn't chime in to be like, yeah, you are.
That's because I'm not going to be mean to you. I save all my meanness for Jacob.
Well, then say something mean about Jacob.
Well, he's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. I've got imposter syndrome. I already know I'm stupid.
Good shit. All right. Well, that is it for this episode. Made it through another one. Big thanks to the two of you for being here. Jacob, thanks to your kids again for coming on and confusing the shit out of me for the majority of that review.
That's standard.
I have no clue where most of it went. Hopefully Warner Brothers enjoys it. Yeah,
they tried discussing things that they liked about the game. They really did. And I was like, guys, you gotta be clear what you like about the game, like what you don't like. And yeah.
They like the
Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers, if we need to, I will re-review the game myself.
They like the Moondogs. Yeah, and a big thanks one more time to Zoe and Kyle at Harmonix for coming on and chatting. Love having Harmonix on the show. They've been some of the earliest supporters of us, so it was great to have two of the folks back on to chat about Rock Band. I miss talking about Rock Band on this show. I need someone who cares about Rock Band to come on and talk to me about Rock Band. Because neither of you give a shit about Rock Band.
I mean, I give a shit about it.
Not even remotely.
Yeah.
He gives a shit. He just really doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean, I give a shit. It's just if the instruments were affordable, I might hop into it with my kids, but they only have Rock Band 1 and 2 and Guitar Hero 3. So.
Oh, man. Did you ever export any of those?
What do you mean?
Like buy the exports for Rock Band 1 or 2?
I think I did. Because you always told me, like, so. You need to buy this immediately. Like, that way everything transfers.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I got you the Rock Band 3 export.
I think so. Yeah.
Who knows about 1 or 2? We'll find out maybe one day. But does anyone have any final words to end this episode?
For Nuthing!